Stream, make sure it's working.
Looks like it is. Looks like we're live. Hello, everybody. I'm your brother Anuhazi, and today, let me see, we got sound check. Okay. Today, we're going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to do a little bit different. We're going to have an interview with our brother, Sean Bond. If you could say hello, man.
Oh yeah, we're live. I'm checking out. Working. Yeah. Hi everybody.
Yes.
Welcome. Yeah, thanks for coming to the show. It's gonna be powerful. We're gonna get into some big stuff.
And
Yeah, so
make sure it's
welcome everyone.
working. Looks
I'm
like it
Sean
is.
Bonds,
Looks like we're
Psionic League,
live.
and oh,
I got a
I'm
Hello,
getting this
everybody. Speaker
biofeedback. Is
I'm
it
your brother
mine?
Anuhazi. It's
Maybe
mine.
it
Let me.
is.
And today, let me see, we got sound check. Okay. Today we're gonna mix it up a little bit. All right. Sorry, that was my speaker phone and wasn't letting me do it. So, yeah, man. We're gonna be talking about psychic powers and superhuman abilities. I mean, I talk about these things on my own, but this is something that Sean's specializes in. So we're going to see how this plays out today. I think it's going to be an awesome live. I think a lot of people are curious about psychic abilities and powers. So I just want to ask you, Sean, what got you into spirituality? Like, what was the beginning of your spiritual journey to where you got to now?
Ooh, man. Yeah, everyone out there. Hey, it's Sean Bond, founder of Sonic League. How I got into it. Good question. Well, I mean, I was kind of born in, like everyone else in the Matrix, trying to figure out what's going on. Every like mystical experience I had, no one really talked to about it. So there is this like imprinting compression on my field to like box it back in, as well as get to forget everything and like come back down to 3D. That since couldn't talk about it with anyone, nothing to bounce it back off of, no like avenues for research. It just faded back in the matrix, especially with indoctrination school and being told by authorities what to do. After getting out of indoctrination school, just bursted off with it though. But in the beginning, like as a kid, I'd get visited by ETs and spaceships, being in space dreams and interesting missions, past life bleedovers, imaginary friends, a extra dimensional witch that would visit me at a young age, and well, still visits me like every year. But in the young age would be this interdimensional place behind my house, into the woods, into the meadows, a little cabin in the woods, and then this strange town that feels like it syncs so well up with my neighborhood, but it doesn't exist. And when I go back there, it freaks me out. And there's a fire station and a movie theater and a town hall and a meeting center, and I remember it so well. And it's just this weird thing and then there's all these shops and people around, mystical experiences and magic. But yeah, and then they visit me and they teach me magic quite a bit. After getting out of indoctrination school, going in, humdrum and career fields and researching things, getting into science, increasing IQ. I knew about that for a while, interested in certain things, but then mystical experience started happening again where I'd get visited, abducted, angels visited me, demons attacked me. I got put into a prison void space realm for thousands of years with my mind compressed in my body, and outside it was a few minutes. Outside the body, I just passed out, and then in freed myself from that, and came out with a mind that's older than my body quite a bit, and then a bunch of other temporal dilation experiences, again, taking somewhere else for a certain period of time and come back as if I never left. And then finding I can answer questions that come to my mind really quickly, mastery over quite a bit. And then reverse engineering abilities, a lot of targeting early on, heaviness, overwhelm, chronic fatigue, chronic anxiety, pain, and then it just getting to the point where like it demonstrated consciousness and reacted to me. So I was like, wow, that's not just a illness, that's a demon. and then it attacking me when I realized that, and then of practicing things that would counter it, and then learning exorcism techniques and banishing and clearing and getting rid of them, astral combat martial arts, turning my third eye, my empathy, my telepathy quite a bit through experiences, talking to different beings, tracking them back, figuring out what existed in like mythical and relic species around the planet and underground bases, and then they would contact me back pretty strongly in some of the races, especially, and engage in conversations, figure out how they work, and get various upgrades. Got, a lot of pain and stuff, so it wouldn't go away. Pills, alcohol wouldn't work, all that stuff. So eventually, it just learned to resolve it and make it disappear. And then I got well known for healing people's pain and negative emotions at a distance, and helping people with suicidal thoughts, and you get rid of that real quick for people, of debilitating back pain for like years, nothing gets rid of it kind of stuff, and got people out of hospitals. I like got into Akashic record reading, soul and DNA reading, and then learning what people have going on in there. I like challenges, so I like figuring out what's cause of illness, and I had a lot of things challenging my immune system. So I learned how to keep my immune system strong. Things try to shut down my organs, kill me, sending death energy. I mean, every energy sent at me, I learned how to control and then redirect, and then restore some of the system of that on the planet. Though there's a lot taken over from fall of Atlantis. And then I do that for clients. Got well known for it. Then massage therapy, cranial sacral, Reiki master, and turning up people's third eye and helping them learn all these different abilities that I got into deep detail of how they work, and the esoteric anatomy, and how to turn it on, and then make it so that other people can turn it on. And that's what I love to do. That's my passion. And then taking down, making this planet better, because it's a jewel of the universe and it needs to be protected. A lot of things mess with it, with invasions, and there's a reason to be here. And so I want to bring it back to the hands of the light, and from out of the hands of the darkness. And so I also like hunting down apex multidimensional predators. But there's a lot more than that. There's like thousands of abilities. So like, hey, you can probably spark my memory of some of the things I've also learned that I forgot, that's in this moment. And yeah, we can get into it and do some things. And feel free to ask questions, everyone. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Indigo Gal. Thank you, Kane. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, Maziel, Sandra, Divine Reflection, Kelly, Charlene. Everyone, thanks for coming.
Thank you, brother, so much. That was awesome, man. And I just want the audience to know that I met you at some of these conferences on disclosure in LA and Sedona. So that's how me and Sean met. And so, but I want to ask you, brother, some of since I don't know that much about your background, I want to ask you, do you consider, because I talk about some of the secret space program information, do you consider some of your attacks or the negative spiritual conflict happening from the secret space program, or is it all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you get into that too. A lot of people are afraid to, so we can have a lot of talk. It'll be fun.
No, not afraid.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah. Thank you for being brave. Yeah, so I started with figuring out all that, mostly first with like, attack, chronic anxiety and stress and overwhelm, and fatigue, and learn how to cure the fatigue, as a lot of it's drain, or some yin type of implosive energy dumped on a person. Being able to stop that, and then tracking it back to like what's doing it, and there's entities, various types around the planet, demons, jinn, oni, asura, all these weird stuff. And then eventually I got to various like in clearing attachments from clearing people's physical bodies, haunted people around me, how to de-haunt them, make that go away, and then ETs. It would go to like ships that would go above me and at my house and stuff, and then try to put me asleep or bombard me with some energy and try to read my mind and figure out who I am. I was like, oh, I'm giving my position away. And then I learn how to camouflage and then try to and distract them by like it's like, hey, energy ball fetch, but like in a different way that didn't look like it was coming from me, so that because I found out how what got their attention, and then got them distracted, and then figure out all those ET species like the Matri, the Car, the Zeta, these negative Draco, and some other things that are trying to monitor and suppress people on the planet and steal from them because they're parasites. They don't earn abilities. They steal them. And yeah, then after a while, they're like, oh yeah, wow, the space stuff is going strong, and like all this targeting, and then learning about targeting individuals, and then I was tracking weird things back that would go to underground bases, and some would go to human. I was like, oh wow, humans are doing this, and then I like that opened up to where I started researching about it with people, and I met a whole bunch of people like me in the targeted individuals and more in the government and like what they're doing and super soldiers, and I got good friends with pretty much every public super soldier I can find, and I'm looking for more. So hit me up if you yeah. When I got well, and then got a lot of chat groups, really good friends with them, practicing with helping them, and got rid of a lot of their pain, headaches, anxiety, targeting symptoms, and even got the things that are targeting off them. I got well known for healing super soldiers and target individuals in the secret space program and other stuff, and then got a lot of memories retrieval, and because I was having dreams of weird military shit before, but I didn't know what it was. And I thought it was just dreams. And then like when I got aware of that from people, it triggered a fuck ton, and I was just, oh my God. I was just like looking in myself, and because like I've been dealing with weird eruptions of PTSD symptoms that shouldn't be there. I didn't like go through crazy, amazing, well, horrible trauma that should be in this timeline anyway. And but when you close your eyes and tune into that and see the visions of it and like what it is, and the crying that like lasts for years every day, waking up, and then you try to get it all out in an explosion in the shower, then you get better at it. And then uh the symptoms and the pain and the other stuff, if I took care of it in certain amounts, like it would go away in the beginning, but it wouldn't go away unless I knew more about it. And so then when I looked into it further and analyzed it, vision quest with it, and see what's going on, where the attack and targeting, where the pain energy or the pain or negative motion or was coming from, it would go to another person in a base or something, and that's human. And I was like, wow, I don't even want to believe that. And it's but like it wouldn't go away. So I was like, okay, I'll see if this works. And it would go away, and the pain and everything, and I feel amazing afterwards if I got rid of that. And I do that with also a bunch of clients, and we try a bunch of things just to be sure before, and then like I give them the suggestion, hey, maybe it's a targeting from a person, and then let's take care of that, and then it goes away. And it's like that's good evidence. So I do think there's some crazy stuff in the world with underground bases. Now, everyone out there that doesn't believe that stuff, it will make more sense if you understand that time travel exists, and the basics for that, like the Nazis, the Nazi Bell, the chronovision tech from the Vatican, the tuning into the frequencies of the future potential and residual frequencies from the past, reproducing this what the pineal gland does of remote viewing tech with like looking glass tech to be able to bring that on a screen and then view the future. And then once you can lock onto a timeline in the future or the past, being able to open up a gateway, which is the Philadelphia experiment and the to Nikola Tesla and like his interesting things with teleportation, which are confirmed. It's just You know, if
Yeah.
people want to not or do believe in the concepts with what the DARPA experiment of like Project Pegasus and other things with the orbital tunnel technology and then go time travel. And then other countries having similar things. There are rips in space-time that they harvest off of, like in Colorado Springs with Nikola Tesla had a base there. And then even if you don't even believe in those anchors, hey, maybe the future version of us and ETs some ETs for sure have time travel.
Hmm.
And sometimes their UFOs get crashed or taken down, and then the US end up with them or some other government. And then there's some timeline in the future where they have in the future. They if they're like some dominating force and they can time travel back in the past, why wouldn't they make a base underground and then set up for resources mining based on information they know about the past, and then gaining tech, and then keeping under the wraps and also abducting people. And then if they got technology to navigate through time, in which what I see a lot of the time, most people have been abducted in some way, either by the dark force trying to control them or their soul family visited. That there's a rule in natural law not to interfere, or they get a bunch of targeting attack with the person's timeline. So they take him out of their timeline and put him back in while taking the residual image hologram imprint of when they took them, so they can just revert them back to that as if they never left, with a alter and a reverse aging and all this other tech that like advanced light hologram tech like the Lyran have. And they can take them off for a certain amount of time and do a whole bunch of things with them as a resource and put them back in, get free workforce. They don't have to pay them. And then they look around the timeline for powerful individuals that are big movers and shakers and people that would change the timeline and use them. And especially if they have abilities or they have remembrance or they have a success rate that would make their timeline mission of what they're taking them for higher. It's it's unfortunate slave trade kind of thing. And I think we need to get strong enough to prevent it. But a lot of people are
Mhm.
dealing with it, unfortunately, especially as you gain abilities. The more uh, people get flagged in the schools for having a
Mhm.
high IQ or certain perceptions,
Mhm.
capabilities they're looking for, the great brain drain of underground bases, which I've met multiple families that have been attempted, they either were or attempted to be recruited into underground base civilizations that are technically kind of like a secret government that is controlling the on circuit surface governments. Yeah, what do you think of all that?
Yeah, thanks for sharing, brother. And I first want to say that a lot of your suffering that you did earlier in your journey is giving you the ability to now help others who are having similar experiences. And yeah, regarding time travel, you guys, I talk about time travel all the time, and it's actually time travel is possible because there is natural portals and stargates. There are planetary stargates. There's stargates in the sun. There's stargates in galactic stargates, universal stargates. So time travel is definitely a reality. It's not weird or a sci-fi. It's a real thing that these beings are doing, and that's why people can have these experiences of being taken out of time. And it's the same thing with abduction, right, brother? An abduction case is usually taking you to another frequency bandwidth. That's going to be related to time. And then they have the ability to put you back to where you were before you left. So, plus that's where we get the Philadelphia experiment. The human race is messing with time now. Now they're trying to create these Montauk project. We got ancient stargates from Atlantis and portals there. So it's happening whether people believe it or not. So
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And I got Stargate artifacts and things I can show you that are crazy. I got a few here, and I'll show you this cool image that I have. I think I can find it for you. But feel free to talk a little bit about what you know of for to building the secret space program real quick, and I'm just gonna grab the artifacts.
yeah. Well, Sean's kind of like a Indiana Jones. When I saw him at the conferences, he had all these artifacts, alien type of artifacts, skulls. He lives in Mexico. He goes into all those sites there. I don't know everything about it, but I know that's a lot of the things that he talks about. And so, yeah, time travel is part of how the German secret societies got ahead of us. They actually, I talk about it in my SSP videos, how they went to the moon. They built out some of the solar system. We got humans on all the planets and on many of the moons of these planets, and also built research stations, other type of stations. Uh, like there's a base on the moon, of course, but not only a human base. It's a whole bunch of grays and reptilian bases. Not all nice, not all good guys. All right. So, but yeah, this is part of the spiritual war that's playing out. And just think about it. When you're at a 3D person, but you have your higher chakras open, those are higher timelines. You move your consciousness to a different timeline, you're time traveling. What's up, Gandalf?
Right?
Good to, good to see you again, man. What's up?
Yeah, I know it's been so long. Big temple dilation. Yeah, and yeah, so for people out there, get rid of the screen.
That's the
Uh,
pyramid and eye.
yeah, so for people that don't know about the subject, I'll show some like dig footage because it's hard to believe for a lot of people. But here's a Stargate, and there's like these spirit bodies coming off with these long skulls with kind of like a chin strap guard, and this Anubis type being holding orb, pyramid, eye. Interesting thing in like
You found this,
whatever
brother?
this could mean. Oh yeah,
This was
underground. And I'll show you dig footage for it. Yep. Here's the other side, and they're the same figures holding a pyramid, and then the scarab beneath. Now
do
this is
you
in Mexico,
do you know how
which
old
is
it is?
crazy. Yeah, there's carbon dating being done on the artifacts. These are found in Tula Hidalgo, Mexico. And we've also been to Abuelos, and there's like three other places that I've confirmed are real. There are people faking this, but I've been
Well,
on digs, so it's a pain in the ass far down you dig, and there are fire ants and roots and all kinds of stuff. These are UFOs here at the top. Here's an interesting eye being. And yep, they look like Egyptian hieroglyphs. We're finding Egyptian hieroglyphs, Egyptian gods, Sumerian gods, cuneiform,
mhm,
many languages that don't exist other places.
yeah.
Of course, the Aztec, Mayan, Toltec, Olmec in the area, and the Tula is the place that the Quetzalcoatl went missing or disappeared, and a lot of aliens. The more you go down, more aliens. Like 60 plus races have been being found. Just because you mentioned the Stargates, I'll show you these guys, and they got the kind of Sumerian like garb too. These long skulls will seen a bunch. This one glows in UV light too. There's like interesting symbols and sigils and kind of like ruins throughout it. There's planets throughout it, like Jupiter and Saturn, quite a bit, and 14. This is a portal that connects to like 14 planets that are colonized by this race of long skulls, which seems to connect with both Syrians,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
hmm, it's like some of their home planets are like Alnath in Taurus that I track back. Here's a UFO right here on it,
The guy on
and
the bottom, is that like a bird being? Part bird, huh?
I'll show you some bird beings. They some of these guys have wings or some weird like sig signifying authority thing. Um,
Like
some
royalty.
have spirit bodies, some have feet, some have mermaid tails. It's like they're being made for multiple terrains. Yeah, I'll show you the bird people because I get a lot of them as well. Multiple types. Here's another gate. Uh, Here's actually one of the bird beings. You can see its beak. It's just kind of been chipped off through time, erosion.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's got wings and a beak. And I think you can see the, well, no, the back's worse actually. And this one has like a little bit of the Nubian point.
Man,
Now
brother,
this,
this stuff must be priceless. I mean, I'm sure people have trying to steal this from you or something, right? I mean, this has got to be,
people, yeah. I haven't had trouble because I work out all the time and I stay strapped and high spiritual protection. But
yeah,
uh,
that always helps.
people of my friends have had artifacts stolen by the government. They
Wow.
go after specific ones. There are tens of thousands coming out of the ground in Mexico, all over, as well as in South America and Arizona and Australia. And the Grand Canyon, there's stories of like the Egyptian
Oh yeah, yeah.
stuff and gods being found there. That's exactly what this is. There seems to be an ancient civilization that made throughout this. They stole like a staff that had a interesting, a high resonant frequency crystal on it. They didn't steal the other artifacts, so it looks like they're just looking for some types. They used to kill people over this. The first people I saw come out about this was Nassim Harriman. I recently became more friends with him. We took him on a dig, but before he got out of talking about artifacts because the presentations he did on it got leaked, and
Hmm.
the farmer that gave him the artifacts was killed for it.
Oh
Now
wow.
there's 10,000 come out. They don't care anymore because it's already a tidal wave. They can't stop it. I'm a little
Yeah.
concerned if people find alien bodies, though I do know people that have found alien
Mm.
remains. And here's and it's like thing we also work with the Boogosphere research team in Mexico with Jaime Monson. And they found, this orb that flies around and then it got volted by electrical current and then fell to the ground. So there's objects that are like that and that are being venerated throughout these artifacts. And here's another like a Horus type of like falcon type person. And yeah, let's get the whole of
Yeah,
him. And he's
this
got
is
feet.
amazing stuff, brother. I mean, this is incredible. I
He's got
mean,
a handbag in his hand. Yeah, I'll show you a bunch. Artifact Roadshow, and this other guy, he has a mermaid tail. So on that. And
mhm.
there's a whole bunch of different mermaid types. They even found a mermaid avian, multiple of the horse and the ibis type, which doesn't seem. It seems to be not
Well,
just an individual that they're
right.
displaying, a species.
Yeah, there's all kinds
Um,
of hybrid mixtures now. So,
Exactly. And you went into that on your presentation, which I liked a
yeah.
lot because not everyone does. And it has this Proto-Sanskrit that's been also found on the Boogosphere.
It looks like a
And that one,
microchip.
exactly. Yeah.
Doesn't it look like a
We've tuned into
microchip?
these chips.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some of the artifacts we have are metal chips and or
Metal.
crystalline with
Wow.
interesting, yeah. I'll show you like images of that. But yeah, it's like these long skulls holding this light pine cone. And each
Pineal,
of these
huh?
artifacts have like spirits in them. I
So
do like clearing and depossession and amplify and give them the wholeness and love, and so they like me a lot.
would
But
that be would that have been charged into that?
oh yeah, and they emit psionic abilities, upgrades. They're like
Whoa.
a cell phone you can contact the races with. They're really powerful. Oh, what was it? Oh, avian.
Well, part of the conversation is about ET telepathy, so that's what was going on with that, right? You were able to connect.
Oh yeah. But I didn't. I learned telepathy way before I interacted with these artifacts. I started interacting with these like 2 years ago. When I got to Mexico, and been on the digs. And I was very skeptical because it's like it's hard to believe these are real until you dig. So like I understand if people don't believe these like right away. It's like what? No way.
Well,
Um,
the your dig footage helps a lot, I'm sure. So
exactly. I'll show this. Yeah, let's take care of that first before so that gets rid of
allow, okay.
any
And it's because
skepticism.
I'll say one thing. It's because you don't see nothing like that coming out. You just see stuff in the hieroglyphs of Egypt or something. You don't see all this little artifacts that show alien. They do everything in their power to hide any ET connection or other worldly connections. And so this is why you don't see something like this. So people aren't start to be skeptical, right? So that's why you have to prove it by showing all these different dig site videos and stuff.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah, as they should. Like I believe skepticism is important. It's just
oh
the
yeah,
original aspect of skepticism was to also be skeptical of one's previously held beliefs in the same manner as the new belief. Otherwise, it's just the new skepticism that they're coming out with to program and control people that trains them. Yeah, are you able to see this?
yeah. We just got to
All
push
right,
play.
sure. So yeah, I'll show you a bunch of dig footage and stuff, and yeah, so I got a bunch of these. I got like digs for days, I got like, over 20 digs. And it's fun. It's adventure. It's your body shakes. It feels like you're out of body. It feels like the Matrix is breaking because it's like, holy crap, they lied to me. And we categorize a lot. We do this so that we can take put footage of them like an archaeological thing, measure them, collect samples before we take them all out, and this is when we're taking them out. There were uh, other people that started museums for them, and then people in black suits stole them all, and
Wow. Yeah.
so also, people die over this, but they're being found all over the place. Farmers are finding them by tilling the field. They're mostly Catholic, so they think they're of the devil, so they throw them out. Here's the metal chip.
That's crazy, dude.
And this we believe is orichalcum because we've found more than one artifact that is of orichalcum, like the Atlantis metal.
Well, what is orichalcum?
It's like combinations of gold, copper, iron, zinc, silver, or in a really hard to make alloy that they can't make today.
See, like that's got to be worth millions. That's got to be insane amount of value, man.
It would be, but like they don't want to even recognize this
Right,
exists.
right.
So we're putting out more and more scientific tests and carbon dating and things. The carbon dating on artifacts in this area have been 1,000, 10,000, 18,000, 19,000 years old, around that in different civilizations built on top of each other. Some in or Oelos around 30,000. There seems to be multiple civilizations built on top of each other. Here's another like sphere that's like the Booga sphere in um, Obsidian, and it's got multiple of that. And here's a stand for it. Here's like a interesting celestite blue skull that we also found. We've found like a lot of different crystal skulls, many different types of crystal. I think the 13 crystal thing has to do with super hard to make, clear, perfect quartz of a human variety. We found multiple of different types of crystal and multiple different species. And
Hmm.
I'll show you another one. Yeah, and yeah, I'm not. I get attacked all the time energetically, but I'm immune
Yeah,
to it for the most part, so it's doesn't
yeah.
matter. Let me see where. And I'm kind of on a do not mess with list because I can put the energy back at them. Let's
Well,
see,
that's like a keto principle. Send it back to the attacker.
right? Here's one of our first crystal skulls we found, and it has a bone in the eye socket with obsidian. We don't know what kind of bone, but we're eventually going to do sample testing.
Do you guys have to have some type of license or some type of degree or
We do it on private land.
I
It's
see.
legal that way. It's illegal if you do it on archaeological sites and public places. Then also they don't if it has UFOs and ETs on it, it's automatically designated as modern. So they don't even want to engage in a legal battle
Right,
with anyone.
right, right.
There's a bunch of people that have found them. Again, it's tens of thousands being found. They're bringing them out. Our elders have attempted to turn them into museums, and they just put them in the basement and they don't show them.
Oh,
They've been told, our friends that are archaeologists have been told they know about them, and they've found them at archaeological sites pretty often, but they're not allowed to display them. They're not allowed to talk about them. If they do, they lose their license. So there's a huge cover-up going on.
so do you actually, I mean, I don't need, you don't have to show it, but do you actually have the like hours of the dig or just the end part?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Some of the digs, we've done the whole thing,
Okay.
virgin ground, like
Uh-huh.
especially when Nassim came, because it was his first time digging.
Mm,
We did it virgin ground. There was like big, kind of cactuses and trees and stuff throughout
mm,
it, and this after like clearing all the grass, it after some of the dirt layers, it went to this interesting stone floor, which we did lidar, kind of like underground penetrating radar, and the the guy did that in a few places, and so he marked where it showed there was like some cavernous places, and some interesting anomalies underground. So we marked that, and
mm.
they had stone floors marking them, or big
See.
piles of rocks, or interesting stacked things, or circle of stones. It's interesting. And
Yeah.
also, before we do, we always do a big ceremony, because I
Hmm.
don't believe people should just do this.
Right, right, right.
Like some you want you're in sacred ground, treat it sacred, be respectful, talk to the spirits. We do a big ceremony that lasts like about an hour, and we
Well,
the
well,
elders are
that's
going to do it anyway, and others going to do it
yeah.
anyway. So we're doing it in the best way possible, and ask them what they want. A lot of them want disclosure, want the reemergence. It seems like some of these species have been involved in amplifying humanity to ascend. Adding most all the species we found added their genetics to humanity, and they see us like different like perceptions on us, but some of the nicer ones see us like a garden race. The more we are done to thrive, the better we do.
Yeah.
And some are seem to be time traveling back in the past and adding things and teaching and artifacts and presenting
Wow.
themselves to people that make the timeline what it needs to be to break us out of a system of control. And so the artifacts have spirits attached to them in the land, and they want certain things. And so we talk to them. They give strong telepathy, especially the crystal skulls and the UFO ones. And we give them. I got a lot of ability, so I do these ceremonies. I get on my hands and knees and ask for forgiveness for humanity, white people, everyone, my ancestors, my past lives, myself, for negativity, for harm, for theft, for
Yeah.
and wounding, bloodshed, the
Hmm.
wars of the past, everything that I could possibly see that they wouldn't like, and I do that for a few minutes, and they like that a lot. And
Hmm.
then I give them wholeness, healing, soul shard retrieval, parts and pieces that are stolen, depossession, clearing. I wake up versions of them out of a coma. There seemed to be an invasion with the false light angel grid from having to do with the Vatican and conquistadors, where it's a big spiritual wave that dominated place of power, objects of power, people of power, and suppressed them, stole from them. I believe they have these artifacts under the Vatican library as well,
Hmm.
and then free them from that and ask anything else they want. Clear while I'm doing it, clear ego, greed, evil, or anything inside me. And the elders that have taken us, they cried to us. They told us, yeah, we find like maybe nothing, one, two, or three artifacts. And when we first went the one time, went the first time, we found 10 artifacts. And we
Wow.
found every time we went, we found a large amount of artifacts.
Well, that speaks
And
volumes, man.
they're they're like really loving. They see it like we're being accepted or something.
Right.
And I believe that too. And I want to do the best for them and make sure that everything goes for the best ability
Mhm.
for the thriving of the artifacts, the species, the land,
Yeah.
the elders, and help them as they're trying to purchase the land, more land, so that they can secure these from. There are some evil people that are just digging it up, and we don't like that.
Yeah.
And they're not respectful, and they get cursed and haunted. And I think also when you're doing that in other places, there are different type of spirits, so you really want to figure out who the spirits are before you start doing it. Like
Hmm.
giant mounds, ooh, they hate humans. You got to really get that one to like you or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, and also they might not have the wanting purpose to have it digged up, so you got to ask.
Hmm.
Now, the place that we're already involved in, there's a whole bunch of people already trying to dig them up, so they already lost that as like an option. But I already believe that they also want disclosure, and they want to get out to people that are worthy, and they want to be shown to the world. So we're making a network of people that are get willing to bring them out and not just end up in a private museum where they never get shown or something.
Yeah.
And they empower people and they work as like a contactee.
Yeah.
Because like some of the people that are drawn to this are have involvement with these species in past lives, and so like reverberates. But then so there's this big matrix that surrounds people, and then we're like mind blown when we're engaged. As soon as we get to the city, there's this matrix that comes out. Oh, maybe it's fake. It's just like, wow. Like I've been on so many digs that still happens, and it's like clockwork when we get to the city. So it's like very understandable why somebody and anyone in the crowd has so many voices in their head that are going to say, no way, this is real. This got to be. There's going to be a
Hmm.
bunch of reasons, but
Yeah.
when you dig, the amount of evidence that like builds up past the likelihood is pretty high. Also, it makes no damn sense. Like there are people that fake this. There's ways
Yeah.
to fake it, but the amount of effort it takes for how much money they make,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. A lot of these families do not make much money bringing these
Well,
artifacts to other people.
they could just be trying
Um,
to disprove you and other people like you. So to have fake ones out there,
oh yeah,
So
that's part of that seems like it's part of it. I've taken on a lot of theories. Feel free to come up with theories. This is Trevor Grassi. We took him on a dig. We're doing a documentary. He's like very excited.
so you guys at least have some ideas of where to start digging to begin with. So
Sorry, what'd you say?
you guys generally have an idea of where you need to start digging.
Oh yeah,
How do you?
yeah. Besides the big ceremony, we do a big like well, I psychic track. So I have multiple methods to psychic track, and we're pretty good at it. And we'll mark those locations and then dig there, and we'll find stuff. Yeah. So and there it's like a weird hologram type of thing that happens too. It's kind of like the Earth is birthing things to people that it approves of and stops it for
Right.
people that it doesn't like. They don't find anything.
That's
It's
very
like it shifts
interesting.
around.
Yeah.
It's like she's birthing them. And some people that take DMT will find more artifacts. Some people have done a huge long prayer and they're like, why'd you do that there? It's like, I did a prayer. And the guy's like, oh, let's dig right where you did the prayer. And then they find something. So
Wow.
it's strange.
Yeah, I think
Um,
this is just the spirits and the ancestors and the, guardians just wanting this to come out. It's going to come out. So,
I agree. And like, especially as we like, it's respectful caretaker because, it'd be a bad way for this to come out and, like people just buying it. And then, like some people, the spirits leave the artifacts because they feel like it's a hostile thing. So they leave. And so it's very honored when they stay. And so they stay for us. and we empower them and restore them to full strength, and then it's like restoring a little management system for the world. And then objects kind of gain a spirit after like 100 years in Japanese mythos, when it's 100 years old. But these seem like they were given spirits already
Yeah.
in the beginning of their enchantment. Crazy powerful, in like they give you visions. The crystal skulls that I work with will give me the best dreams I've ever had, telekinesis, levitation, teleportation dreams. And then I wake up like, whoa, that was awesome. And then I'm like, who gave me that dream? And it was like,
Yeah.
oh, the crystal skull. And it winks
Yeah.
at me and then says, yeah, keep working with me. I'll help you with that. Let's see here.
Well,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, here's go
I
ahead.
think that's the only way to go, is to have reverent respect, and that's what opens doors. And that's probably the only type of archaeology people should be doing regarding this type of context, you know. So
Oh yeah, I
you're doing it
agree.
the right way.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I try, and I keep trying to add more lists of like how I can do it better, and you know, be appreciated
Whoa,
by the
look at the
spirits.
orbs. Look at the
Oh
orbs.
yeah, there's tons of orbs in the
That's
caves that we go
insane.
in.
That's insane.
Yeah, they go through the walls. It's weird.
Oh yeah, people think
Yeah,
it's dust particles.
I know. Like part of them, it's probably some dust particles, but when you see them going through the wall really quickly,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a little different.
Well, plus they're round and they're going like a gliding movement. You know it's an orb, so
Right.
plus they're
Yeah,
traveling like 10 miles an hour. A dust particle's not going to go across the room and like that. So
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, you got a good eye, man. I first saw that like when I was in Egypt with the Sekhmet temple that has the Sekhmet statue. They were going like crazy. It was like an orb
yeah.
storm. And I see these in these places. Um, it's just lovely. But yeah, we sometimes find like 8 crystal skulls in one place. Crazy ETs, all different types.
Well, I can imagine the energy at that site when you were doing
And
it.
you can see the skulls in the back. That's kind of what did on our last dig.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Let me see. And I'll see if I can find some for you that are the big skulls. But yeah,
We
disclosure is coming out like a tidal wave.
yeah, for real, man. I feel it. A lot of us in the movement feel it. It's a calling that's meant for all humans. All humans deserve disclosure. So
Oh yeah, yeah, it's part of us. It's calling. Yeah, and I'm wondering if you feel free to like show you as many species as I can that I found, and see if you any that like are familiar to you as well. I'll show you a bunch of the avian. I know you said you had a lot of affinity for the avians in your presentation, so I like them too.
well, I
And here's
think
a
that's
shaft we found. And we're still digging down it. This is the layer that we got to, but it keeps going down, and they layer them with artifacts. We don't know how far it goes down. It might go into like a pyramid structure complex or something. And there's like a Quetzalcoatl serpent. Like we found dragons. There's another one of the orbs and a stone slab that glows in UV light. And then there's this giant, alien skull that glows in UV light as well.
I, I gotta come down there sometime, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, we'd love to have you. It'd be fun. Yeah, we want to do adventures with powerful people that can get them out to the world and
Mhm.
present on them and share and disclosure. We've had some not the best experiences with everyone because some people don't appreciate it. It like costs us
Oh
money to
yeah,
do it, and then they just want to do it for free, and then it's like,
yeah.
and then they complain they didn't bring their ivermectin and immune system boosters, and if they get sick, then they feel like they've been cursed or something. Uh, you know, so we got to be careful with who we did.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
And because mummy tummy is a big thing, and also you want to be super respectful. And just in case, we try to make sure nobody gets cursed when we do bring them. And I'm good at getting rid of curses, so they're, it's not really something to worry about. But also people get paranoid.
Yeah.
So, and then they don't do anything. And then so the trip is kind of like useless at that point. So I'm like, why do we do any of that? Um,
We
let's
do
see.
got to hit the psychic topic eventually. So,
Yeah, yeah, please do. Here's a crystal skull that may be crazy for you, and I also have some avians on it, and then I'll stop, and then we can go into the psychic stuff.
okay. Okay.
All right, here's one of the big ones. Okay, so it's got avians here. Long skulls, Anubis like beings, cephalopods, the eye being, and it has the reptoids. And they seem to be on a boat, and then they're pointing to the big eye guy, and the eye guy is pointing out the reptilians. Maybe he's exposing them or something. And they got a
Oh yeah.
staff and an obelisk behind them. There's two right here. Because they have like some feather design, they might be raptors or naga or something. Well, we have found Draco looking ones and crocodile looking ones as well. So there's multiple reptoids depicted, as well as a kind of humanoid looking one, which is strange.
It's amazing, brother.
And then the Boogosphere chip thing. These guys all seem to be pointing their staff to a center of a crescent moon thing that has a pyramid with a gate, kind of plasma gate that connects to another plasma gate that connects to a planet, which might be a portal, them opening some type of portal. But everyone can interpret it however they want.
Do you have this on your YouTube or somewhere else that people can
Yeah.
spend more time on?
Oh yeah, yeah. Psionic League. So if anyone wants to subscribe, we're posting alien artifacts all the time. I'm gonna be doing a lot more as we're setting up the museum for it.
Mm. Awesome, man.
And here's a nice because you like the avians. We don't get to show that often. The rare crystal skull that we got
Wow, that's
that
crazy,
has
man.
avian feathers. So very interesting what that could mean. And on the bottom,
It's a hybrid of sort, for sure.
yeah, here's an
Wow,
avian with a mermaid looking tail.
that's crazy. I never heard of that combination
I'll try to
of.
find, I got a UFO that has an avian mermaid of different types on it. Here's a eagle type person on it, and a
Yeah.
cube that has multiple weird languages. We don't know what they are, but they're not really found anywhere else. And here's the ibis type being, which we found on multiple types.
I can imagine you must get all kinds of senses just handling these things or being in your house or something. You must have all kinds of paranormal stuff going on, man.
Oh, tons all the time. I'm constantly things are trying to hit me up my
Yeah.
psychic telepathy phone. I'm good at I can teach people telepathy. I'm very good at it. I've done presentations on it. And anyone out there, if you want to guarantee telepathy, I got you. I get you that. And it's fun. Oof, I feel like I would be like missing a limb or something if I didn't have telepathy, but a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
people never had it, so it's very sad and unfortunate that we're living in this world that like blocks it for people.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of negative alien tech that does that intentionally, besides decalcifying your pineal or other things, besides making it sound like you're crazy just even talking about psychic abilities. So,
Oh yeah, totally tons. And like, some people don't like the grays, but I found there's over 4,000 types of grays, and
oh
some of the
yeah.
more ancient ones are like, and the Murther have been really nice to me. They visit me a bunch. I have like strong memories of them, and they're protectors for the Council 5. But yeah, some of them are like the Matri and Zeta. They're kind of assholes. But yeah, there's some strange looking ones and different types, like this crescent moon long skull. some that are straight up long skull, oof, like the cone heads.
Well, I want to say that
Maybe
people say
go
some
ahead.
crap when I show all these ETs with long elongated heads, but that's the fact. There is a whole bunch of beings that have freaking elongated heads. Not to mention, we have archaeologists have found a bunch of skulls with elongated heads. You can't say it doesn't exist. It's think about it. It's bigger brain as well. So
Oh yeah, and it seems like the different types have different activated chakras and abilities from the different way it's
yeah.
elongated, which I
Hmm.
think that can spell out some interesting activations people can do, which I'm looking forward to when people are doing more of. Here's one of the cone heads we found, and it's depicted on the skull of this type. We found multiple, some in a more in a Walos though, but
More orbs.
yeah, yeah.
Incredible, man.
Tula is more known for the crystal skulls, though. Here I'll show you a Walos piece that I have on me, though.
And I'm
And
sure this
then,
is just the tip of the iceberg. There must be so much stuff that needs to be found, right? I mean,
yeah, we found dragons, giants, weird stuff. So yeah, like tens of thousand artifacts are being found. Crazy stuff that I'm not even, some species I'm not even comfortable putting on screen because they're kind of,
wow.
people associate them a little bit with the devil and stuff.
Right.
So,
Reptilian?
well, there I got reptilians, but there's like goat people,
Oh yeah, yeah. I see what
um,
you mean.
kind of stuff, and I don't like
Well, I've been
triggering people.
well, I've
There's
been through that.
UFOs too.
Yeah. I've been through that too because I had to explain to people that all the DNA templates of animals are getting their appearances from their higher DNA templates. So we don't evolve this way. It started already evolved and it went down. So the animals down here are being represented in outer space in these higher dimensions. So you're going to have
I
like,
completely agree with that.
yeah. That's why one of the most influential ones is the cat people, and people just mock that. Not everyone, of course, but you get people, you know, even though there's this big movie series called Avatar with cat people just can't just fathom it. It's ridiculous. But look at ancient Egypt. I mean, there's a giant statue of a freaking cat in the Giza Plateau. There's statues of these things everywhere. They're in the hieroglyphs. For cultures have been and humans throughout history have been talking about these ETs. So,
Oh yeah, and there's cat people been found. Um, so like yeah, the Lyrans are strong. They've been interacting with a lot. A lot of these species, a remote view through an unentangled observer technology through the lower dimensional, lower sentience versions of their species on planet. So they're kind of like a spy and influence. And also they grid and they have an anchor for the higher dimensional beings. Yeah, I think there's this uh kind of weird dimensional thing that happened with catastrophes and falls of civilizations where the perception of what beings we interact with in reality has been lowered to a survival ego mechanism of boundaries and veils that went up like some people, there's stories of like when the natives first saw the boats of the white people coming, some didn't see them, just the shamans did, and then as the shamans pointed that out, they were able to see more people were able to see them. So it's this weird thing with perception with there's a filter, and it's like science has gone into, we can't see more than 0.0, there's a lot of zeros,
hmm
0.5% of any given space. Uh, and we can't even touch it. We can't interact with it centrally. It's non or bandwidth. So I think the DNA tech of various species like us and the ones that we perceive on Earth have gone through a quarantining of their perception until they're able to take care of something big that's attached to us all, and this trauma and wounding to rise back up in frequency of being able to perceive more, which some have been able to do. And then they see interdimensional beings and interesting things that are in these higher sentience capabilities. Like Sasquatch is known to go in and out of phase and invisible, and there's these interesting triangles throughout the woods and places in the ocean that have weird anomalies.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, it's I think a lot of people who are on a spiritual journey, they're activating those higher chakras, and that gives them that extra sensory perception, which is a natural, organic thing. While religion, some religions will demonize that. I think it's of the devil or some, or you need to be exercised or something. So, but it's very natural. It's part of humans, and it's part of the awakening. We awaken our heart center, our throat chakra, our third eye. Some people are born with them already turned on, or their star seeds or indigos coming in, so they have those potentials. But all humans have that potential within them. They just have to have an open mind and find ways to train it. I mean, you're a teacher of that, so obviously it can be trained, right? So,
Oh yes, every ability can be earned and gained by anyone. There Yeah, and the same thing with perception. It's like a locking in of our survival perception is what we're trapped in right now. There seems to be a matrix of some type imprinted and programmed that's in many psionic layers of attachment, the light holograms of light stream splitting infinitely that make this dream weave that we're in. And so there's things to take care of and heal up and take back for the light forces, get rid of the predator system, and then out of survival mechanism we can go where people don't have to worry about that stuff getting stolen anymore and it being protection mode. A lot of abilities, so fractal up and down, there are generators throughout the body, the chakras, the cells, organs, chromosomes, mitochondria, and they're like suns, and they burn brightly, but when they don't feel safe, like a lot of attachment cords coming at them to steal from them, they shut down and protect themselves from being stolen from. As you make them feel safer, they open up and produce more energy and bringing them to their purest state. Their source blueprint hologram underneath it all, they can operate at their greater functionality. And as the game here, it seems to be learning lessons above everything else in Samsara, the land of suffering, and also becoming resilient to the worst of the worst, dark and evil, so that the light can become strong enough to take back its power against that, and then it gains something into the future that prevents worse catastrophes.
yeah, man. There's definitely a spiritual war playing out, and they will. I mean, and this isn't from yesterday. They've been working on this disempowering us since the days of Atlantis. So, what do we got here?
Oh yeah. Here's a UFO that has multiple mermaids on it. So like this interesting, I think this is a long skull, but it's got an interesting like Egyptian-like hat. A lot of these have Egyptian-like hats. Here's a mermaid Thoth-like being, and a horse-like being that's a mermaid, and then a Anubis, a dog mermaid. So
More
yeah,
hybrids.
to go into all of those, because you had a good presentation on aquafurians and things that are combinations of like avian, aqua, and other things.
Yeah,
So
they're actual races that are like that. So, people just
exactly.
think it's myth or fairy tale, but where do you think the myths are actually coming from, right?
Right. At first, I was like, oh, maybe they're taking DMT or something and all seeing these beings, which would just mean for sure that these beings exist spiritually, for sure. But like, not just that, these are being
Yeah, it's
found all over the planet. It's like,
yeah,
yeah, and more close up of the Thoth-like being. It doesn't make sense if they're not connected. And also they have the same languages that are being shown in like Egyptian. So that's another like, yeah, that's kind of hard to fake just in vision. So that kind of scratches that off. So it's definitely beings are appearing to
yeah,
people and giving them a
yeah,
language.
yeah.
And since this is on a UFO, I'd imagine they saw a UFO. Also, this one is crazy good at telepathy, this UFO. So it might contact you guys in the audience. You feel head buzzing, booming in the inner ear, boom boom, or weird visions. These will appear to you before you go to sleep. Comment in the comments either now or later if you see those visions, because that means it shows you you're worthy. The cool thing about these UFOs is some have a programmed crystalline AI construct consciousness in them, which is a little bit more advanced than what we know about AI, to be honest. These chips, when I read into them, there's so many different types they and designs. It told me that they have AI concepts, but it's the technology is a little bit beyond what we have in technology reproduced at the moment. And it gave me a little bit of the schematics for some of the concepts, but it was going down the pathway of reproducing what a human body does as being an antenna for grand
Hmm.
consciousness to bring in a grand consciousness. So it's like doing that for artifacts and technology.
Yeah.
So there's that. But yeah, we can get into the all the big stuff. But yes, just wanted to give you some confirmation to your beliefs, on like the different hybrid races of these.
Hmm.
I would always every time I go into DNA reading for people, and I track back certain races and I'd go down like avenues for different animals and stuff. Their DNA would be older than the planet, and it would go to like a seeding race or a founder or a builder race kind of concept
Right.
of like the horses would have source horses like unicorns, dragons,
Oh, for
and
sure.
angelic humanoids. um, the avians would have this overpower. It's like Ra, the sunbirds, or phoenixes, or thunderbirds, like
Hmm.
of high level source bird consciousness. It all
Yeah.
seems to like connect in different words. I'm not super comfortable with the me wording them myself, but I love hearing the different names people have made for different
Yeah.
ways to describe them. And yeah, there seems to be a different founder race for all these different types of
Oh, yeah.
abilities and species. And the
Yeah.
Canis Major for the dog people like Anubis.
Yeah, I talk about that a lot, and there is founder races. Who's particularly there's like three major main ones: the Elohai, Blue Flame, Seraphi, Seraphim, Gold Flame, and the Violet Flame. So those all have their own ET races, and then they start combining these races, and then you have a bunch of races creating other races. So, but like you said, there is an original founder heritage. So. And we're all
Yeah,
multidimensional beings. So we are here, but we're also up there. So
oh yeah, I agree. It seems to all connect, and then there's branching lineages. You can all like read what they come from, and the mammalians and the reptoids and different things that link, and then their offshoot experiments and then the combining of them to the super hybrid text that we find ourselves in.
Mhm.
I currently in my you can take like I love new perception, so don't feel like you have to believe anything I'm reading into. Totally love hearing everything you're saying too, so don't feel like you have to stop yourself ever, because I want to hear you unadulterated truth come out of your mouth and then brought to the audience, and we can hear it all and then we can link together of like our concepts. I read that we're a hybrid of over 10,000 plus races on average, but they have been introduced at different big point cluster points. But then also people have them added at birth when they're in the womb quite a bit based on who they are and like their soul family and some other things that are time warring with them of what they're going to do that life if they want to add negative genetics. Or then there's viruses and weird shit that is added and the retro transposable element, and some people get upgrades that like it's a hologram DNA light seed that like then unfolds in the editing programs and the genetics, and then they have the antenna to link up with something. Some people are granted that by like especially celestial bodies like the planets. And I keep like tuning into more weird ways because there's whole timeline war, but I like that we seem to be a big experiment. What do you think about the human experiment?
yeah, well, I think that humans are originally created as a guardian race, and so we have what you call a 12-strand DNA, even though our scientists only see two double helix, but there's actually 12, and that became dormant in our DNA. But you're going to have all kinds of races, intruder negative races mixing their DNA. I mean, that's talked about in the secret space programs, how there's actually several different genetic hybridizing experiments on us. So that will, what you mentioned, you're going to find different DNA, but our DNA is supposed to represent all the founder races. That was that's what a guardian race does. It has the DNA to help heal other races. So it's interesting how people got it backwards. They're saying, "Oh, this race has human DNA in it." No, that race has the human race has represented in that DNA. We represent all these different strands of DNA because that's part of why we were created to be able to have host matrices. Some of us are actually helping to heal some of the other races because of that, of our DNA content. So I think there's a lot of distortion happening to the humans. They're trying to disempower us. They're trying to say they created us or this race created us when the Lyrans are the ones who created us. So, but yeah. Do you
That's a
have a
really good
green,
point.
do you have a green hat? Because I think that's messing up your green screen because it's
Oh
green.
yeah, it totally
Oh, okay.
is. I don't know why I did that. I just love green, so it's like fuck
Oh, yeah,
green screen,
yeah.
but whatever. Yeah, but it's a really good point. Now, like I've heard a lot of different beliefs on like this 12 strand. I've even heard people say like higher amounts of strand, and it's like maybe that's in potential or something. Or like I like to
Mhm.
sync up data. I also like to formulate the beliefs for awakening people or super skeptical because my family was super skeptical. So I try to I've heard different concepts of what the strands mean. Could be like bunches. I've heard from Dan Winter of like bundles of different like bunches, or the light strands of the hologram of like some people say it's like the double helix in the lines of the DNA, but instead it's now a triple helix, or it goes into a geometry of 12. Some people say it's like the light body turning on in a strand, or and then solidifying or becoming like a crystalline or like a silica, or a different type of antenna. Or I've also heard that like the strands represent like a lineage introduction. And I do see you can definitely tune into it as an operating system where you go into holographic vision quest in a lab where you're looking at the hologram and you're programming your DNA for sure. I see that. So I'm open to the scenarios of what that means exactly. But and I've heard a lot of things. I do I do think they are messing with it quite a bit. And the Matrix's thing sounds interesting, so I'd love to talk about that with you more too, because that sounds awesome. Because I got a lot of things I tune in on that, on and the introducers, and then the war over what's claiming to have created us, or claiming ownership of
Yeah,
us, or even claiming that the Earth is theirs. And
yeah.
what made sense for me is that there's a timeline war, and there are species that weren't here originally that went back in time and then planted a flag kind of thing, and then claimed it's theirs. Also, the Earth is crazy old. This is my perception, so you don't have to believe it or anything, but there's like, people, the Greek mythos goes into like a thing where out of chaos in the sea of nothingness, there came like the primordials like Nyx and Erebus and Tartarus and Earth. And that goes into that Earth is one of the primordials. It's like, well, that doesn't really make sense. And so maybe they just think it's that old. Now, looking into it myself, it seems like Earth might be one of the oldest planets in this universe, and actually went through different projects and like a scenario with a formed solar system to do a goal and a mission. And at least two other times she was in two other solar systems, and the missions, the scenario failed, and she had to teleport out before getting destroyed. And that in those times, those solar systems might have even been in other galaxies or something, but it's really hard to like pinpoint that location. And that she's she could be one of the oldest planets in the solar system, and is like a divine fractal of one of the oldest beings before she became a planet too. That's like a powerful source being. That's one of the best beings I've ever seen at divinity. And there's a lot of reasons for being here, and not every race does not know the whole complete puzzle of what the fuck's going on here. And everyone has their goal of what they want to create, but there's a whole bunch of like the whole multiverse doing something here, and it's crazy. It's like a big mystery. What do you think of all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I definitely think just like human beings or any beings are multidimensional, the planet is multidimensional. So there is different levels of Earth. And in these inner Christos teachings, it talks about how Earth ascends into Tara. It's a planet called Tara in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensions. That eventually will ascend into the third universe, dimensions seven, eight, and nine, called Gaia. That's where we all hear about Gaia. So Earth becomes Tara, Tara becomes Gaia, Gaia becomes Aramatena. So there is, and they say that this is coming from 950 billion years ago. So it is a lot older, and all planets have this similar process. Like Sirius A or B would have its parallel planets in higher dimensions as well. So that comes with code, that comes with history, memory, identity, that we all have this, within that we're awakening to now. So
Beautiful. Yeah, I believe, at least from my tune into, at Earth's origin, she seemed to be a high dimensional planet and then fell through catastrophes, or at least our
yeah.
perception. And there was like a quarantining off to survive the systems and keep something from spreading. That's a profound darkness. And then
Yeah.
to revive herself out of a coma, essentially, and restore. And what a predator tried to came in and destroy the universe and remake in its image, and it kind of got like stopped. And there's like a weird thing with the hologram being hacked with that, and then having to reset and reboot itself, and then some of the things going into void space, and then it filtering out that and bringing them back in, kind of like the Mandela effect. Islands and weird shit are coming back into existence, and I think we're bringing her back up to her high dimensional state, and then even beyond what she was born at, hopefully. So I like that. And that also goes in the concepts of the awareness of beings from the future in timelines where there was a successful ascending of the planet, and then they're coming back in time and helping to build that to this timeline, as well as the war of, there are races that want to stop it. And there's weird AI shit that's trying to stop it, and it's trying to monitor the people that were a part of bringing it up in ascension, and attacks them. Yeah, what's your perception?
Yeah, but there's also something called parallel universe and the parallel Earth. There's also something called phantom Earth in the Phantom Matrix. There's many different versions and timelines of Earth. So, and there is all these different types of conflicts. Just like you mentioned the time wars. Well, there's many time wars, and while we're here as humans, we're maybe Syrians or Pleiadians or Lyrans in these higher dimensions fighting the same conflict, but in their space. So, and I think Earth is prized. I think human DNA is prized. So we're always going to have someone trying to mess with us, take our DNA, put it in their DNA. I mean, we see it happening in different races. They want our DNA, but why? There must be something about our DNA while they're calling us lowly servants or whatever. There's something magical about the humans. So
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, and let me get more of your defining, because I want to link it with mine, because so I've seen weird shit with Earth in the mapping of it. My current mapping of it, and you can call it different things. So like, let's sync up with what we're
yeah.
matching up on definitions. I've seen multiple, the timeline variants of different choice points of each person. That it's like a tree of all the variant timelines. The
Mhm.
different reality, I guess you could call it, which is different rules, different systems, different mission agenda and usually that branch off the same types of realms. But like there are then other realms, and so each of the realms have those as well. Then there are also within those realms, there are also elemental dimensions or like layered over each other, like the fire realm, earth realm, ether, void, jinn realm, what all that kind of weird shit.
Yeah.
There's also spirit realm, the spirit worlds, like for like the Fae and the other stuff, and they have different offshoots, and then the astral dream realms, all that within realms, and then uh Earth also has different dimensions that go up and
Yeah.
down, up, down,
Mhm.
all the different directions, including within, and then some weird ones that are like inter that are like kind of a little hard to map and define the way you put them in space time. And I'm open to more as I'm exploring it. When you say parallel Earth and phantom Earth, can you please define that? Because I also read that there's overlays that try to from the dark that try to manipulate the timelines and the reality and then put it more in their agenda of what they want to control. So how would you define those two?
Yeah, actually, there's um, different universes, and we're in the first universe out of five. And so our universe has dimensions one, two, and three, but every dimension is made up of 12 substrands or 12 subfrequencies. So there's that could account for what you're talking about, experiencing different levels that are out of our five senses. But of course, you can tune in with your higher consciousness, but they
Yeah,
exist. And
yeah. Sorry, I didn't complete. Yeah. So realms of a either like a space that are overlaid on top of each other for Earth, solar, galactic, and universe. And the universal has realms, and then the universe is usually linked in a cluster of a multiversal grapevine based on the creator, and then those are in a bubble that are held in what I call the ultraverse, and it keeps kind of going
yeah.
up infinitely and down infinitely, at least in what I've tuned into. So yeah, and then the universes are usually born in threes, with a middle one being like the purposeful one, the lighter realm or heavenly place or whatever being made as like a VIP club for beings of the creators, source beings, gods, whatever, and then a quarantine realm, tree of death, Killapoth. It's like the quarantine realms, prison realms, or hellish realms if they got overtaken. And then I believe there's like a construct being made to overlay on things of that fractal up and down that you could describe in the encompassment of a universe if you wanted, and there are alternate universes for sure. Um, and the variety of the alternate timelines of the universe or the alternate realities of the single universe. Uh, so like Phantom Matrix, is that like when the Dark stole a bunch of authority and then made their construct and emanated it out and then overlaid it onto the universe to then orient it like a saddle or something? What would you say it is? And sorry, I didn't mean to
Oh, no,
interrupt
that's
you.
fine. It's kind of like a reverse consciousness of source, and it's kind of like an anomaly. It's not natural or organic. It's something that happened based on the abuse of free will. So with free will, they became, experimenting with these negative energies of fear, hatred, any type of loose energy. So these beings are actually going in kind of like a spiraling black hole type of system. It's the Guardians actually call it a sub-time space distortion field. And so at a certain level, it was originally created by these it was the Omicron dragon moths, kind of like a reptilian race, and the Anu Elohim, which is the creators of the Anunnaki races, were the first ones to create this fall. And because they had this DNA co-convolution thing happening, some people think incest is best, but it's not because it creates DNA anomalies and problems. So that's what these beings were doing, creating these uh, other type of forms that created distortion. That's where distortion started. That's where you get the idea of fallen angels, because they are the ones who originally fell, and that went into this anomaly, this reverse consciousness field that became the phantom matrix, where they're finite. They're no longer connected to Kundalini energies of source. So they have to feed off of, like vampires. Now they have to feed off of you like a succubus, suck you while you're sleeping, you know? So or they can suck on planets. They can anything has to do with torture, suffering, you know, that is how they feed. So this is where these beings are falling into after, you know, a certain de-evolution. But also they found ways to interact with the living system through these portals and stargates that they even create. The CERN is creating it, HARP is creating these things. They did it in Atlantis, they did it in Lemuria, they're doing it now. So they're creating ways for them to influence us, affect us. So, but they're definitely relying on feeding off of living consciousness.
Fascinating. Thank you. I'm gonna keep asking questions because I like getting to the bottom of this, and I'm one of the people that likes figuring out how things work in the dark system, and then I'm figuring out the threads to pull to unravel the sweater. So yeah, let's do some missions. Okay, so let's see.
It can happen to
Um,
planets too. A planet can
okay.
fall. A planet, if a planet is destroyed, it goes into phantom or
Uh,
something. So, like
just,
Nibiru, there's a phantom Tiamat. You know, the our asteroid belt was once a planet. It's the pieces of a planet that was destroyed, but that consciousness fell into the phantom now. Now there's a phantom Tiamat or phantoms, whatever planets get destroyed. There is weapons that can destroy a whole planet. So,
okay, so the phantom grid is made up of systems that fractal up and down of consciousness from individual species, planets, solar, stars, galaxies, universes, maybe more,
mhm.
that have been taken over. The dark side feeds off them, destroys them, and then takes the parts and pieces to build something that they want in their own image. And how does that? So, like, there might be different varieties, and I'm sorry if you don't know the answer to everything. I just want to
Oh.
know what you know, because this is fun.
But yeah, they definitely siphon that energy so now they can utilize that energy for whatever devious purposes they're doing. You know, I think that's part of the influence in all these different races that are trying to, you know, get something from our planet or our race or to claim like you mentioned that there's some trying to claim Earth as their own, but that's because, for example, the reptilians came a million years ago and then they hybridized with humans and created the Dracos. So the Dracos are Earthlings, but they were that's only because they were created as a hybrid. The Anunnaki did the same thing. They created with humans the Nephilim. So they're Earthlings. Nephilim are Earthlings, and Dracos are Earthlings, but they can't claim Earth as their own, or they can't claim that they created us. But that's exactly what they're doing because they want to disempower the angelic human race. They want to
Yeah.
take over our stargates. They want to create their own hybrids. So we're just an asset to them.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're lying a lot too. They're lying to their own race with propaganda and like how much they exist and what they are in hybrids. And it's weird, like in what they anchored to in DNA and weird stuff because I see them going around stealing a lot of genetics and like, oh, we are this being, and I'm like,
Yeah.
kind of like wannabes. But also, yeah, they go back in time and then claim it as theirs, and uh, they added a bunch of shit to the timeline that didn't need to exist and then mess with the whole thing, but it will blow back eventually on them as we become resilient to them and then engulf them in this empathy love trap that we have that love, I read, this is a lovely thing. I read this with everyone I read as a client. They ask me, what's my purpose? Why am I here? And I'm top of the list. There's a lot. There's a lot of reasons to be here, why you're incarnate, who you are, the DNA, your soul family loves, what your career and all this. But top of the list for everyone is to achieve a new level of love you can only achieve in a human body in this realm. It seems to go beyond every other capacity of DNA tech or other DNA race out there in its potential. Not that currently what it can do, but like beyond Christ consciousness, beyond galactic, universal love, whatever. And it's the connection between all things. It's like high vibrational energy felt, where you can do anything, overcome anything. It's uh, overcomes all. But so that's big ascension pathway stuff for people. But okay, because I want to get to work on this as soon as possible. So is it so the Phantom Matrix is just a word that engulfs a lot of the different systems of the dark, where they take over these systems fractally up and down, and they could be like where they're starting to take it over, and then a spiritual overlay, or if a place was destroyed. And now, are you saying that there is a place it feeds to, like another universe? And what does that look like? The things I previously, before knowing about this, I knew about the antiverse, which is like the three, when a universe is born in threes: the light verse, the regular one that we have that's like moral code and lessons and shit, and then the antiverse, which is like a place where I read it when it's made with different universes. It's so because the universes get invaded often. It's a place to put the invaders that don't play nice, and to compress in a system that is rewarded by being predatory and dominating all the invading evils, and getting them more, at least under a system of somewhat control. Now, there are things trying to pit the antiverse against us constantly, and there would bleed overs at Fall of Atlantis. And a lot of the species over there are very predatory versions. There's going to be a version for everyone over there, though it might be in a different form. And it's kind of like Cthulhu, Lovecraftian, Predator mythoses over there, with also like Stephen King's Mist kind of concept. But there's a representation of everything, and there's reasons for it. Though I read, if you can get your version and more of that side's version to see the bigger predator, that's Machiavellism getting us to fight each other, it's best, and I don't think it's the worst. And then there's like weird stuff in void space where predators are flung into that, and they're trying to create things in void space and overlaid that. What do you see? What? Tell me more about this Phantom Matrix, or the Phantom Universe, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, the Phantom Matrix. It's kind of like our system is made up of 5 universes and 15 dimensions, but they only go up to 11 because that's where it happened. 11D, which would be dark avatars. That would include dark angels, but we call them souls and oversouls. And so this is where, I mean, this has happened 250 billion years ago. So it wasn't always a phantom matrix. That was that's why it's called an anomaly. It's not part of the natural intention of source God, but it was possible only because of the abuse of free will, so, but yeah, they're making all kinds of bodies, and they're I don't know, they make sure that they have a huge influence on an impact, and they want, and a lot of these beings want our bodies so they can experience the physical living world again. So this is why you have kind of like, but you also have negativity. They don't have to be in the Phantom Matrix. There's plenty of dark beings in our living particle unit matrix. So this combination, but the higher ups would be the dark avatars and the Phantom, who are basically creating hybrid bodies so they can carry out their will, carry out their agendas, and they're all about taking over and putting people in bondage and feeding off of them. So that's where you get all this loose energy. That's why they're all about sacrifice and death and hurting people, killing people, enslaving people, putting down the divine feminine. This is where we got all the sexist patriarchies from. This is where we get gods, supposedly gods, that have dark, negative qualities. This religion right here has a god that kills children. That they have gods that are jealous, or that are raping. What is this? It's a lie. It's a distortion. It's something that these beings are setting up to enslave us, to feed off of us. So it's really dark and twisted, Alice down the wonder hole kind of stuff. But I tell people this is what you call spiritual bondage. So
Interesting. So I'm trying to bring out all the to fill the knowledge. So is because our I one time one of our conversations, I is there like a physical different universe that the dark is making that is like the black holes are funneling stolen stuff to? And is that universe physical, or is this a spiritual like overlay and they're trying to interact with the physical body tech here? Because like from what you've said, there's definitely a spiritual, um, I can confirm that overlay of that's like in a spirit world, in astral, in void space, in some hell realms that bleed over that are annoying. Sometimes the dark has stolen big tech and they invaded heaven realms and they took over those, and there's like false light versions of them. And like especially with the fallen archangels, and there be a weird stuff with that, and then either higher dimensions that got invaded to and they're trying to anchor and to keep invading into that. What so two concepts. Is there a physical place that they're funneling things to? Because I thought I heard something about that. Or and then is the phantom place a is it just the matrix overlaying with existing like spiritual places like the astral and spirit worlds or other stuff, or is it making its own place?
I would say it is a form of a physical in their reality. It would be physical to them. What I consider spiritual is beings that are at different levels of frequency. So a being at a higher dimension appears like a spirit, but they're physical in their reality because of density matter. Like our universe is carbon, but their universe is etheric matter density. So they appear, or you would say ancient humans would say, "Oh, that's a spirit," but there's really just a series of multidimensional levels of creation that appear as a spirit because those beings would be only half carbon and half etheric, so they would be ghost-like almost, but they're still physical. Their world is still physical. And to answer your question, so is the Phantom. The Phantom has its own dimensionalized levels up to the 11th dimension, because that's where it happened, the fall. And then those beings would appear to lower dimensional beings as ghost-like, but in their realm, they're physical as to each other, to themselves. But that's the same thing with the succubus. They think that's a spirit. It's an actual extraterrestrial race in a higher dimension who's able to feed off of you, and you're out of phase until your consciousness is in dream state or in medicine state or in meditation state. Then you're time traveling, so to speak. And so, yeah, they're physical, but they're if they're higher dimensional, they have to come to us through, like I said, dream state or some other state, altered state. Does that any of
Interesting.
that
Yeah.
makes
Yeah, I agree with the succubus thing. Like a lot of people just see them as like spirits or
sleep
demons or ghosts, but
sleep paralysis? But I
yeah,
mean,
the
they
fourth
say
dimensional versions. I've also ran into people that have their DNA, and so I believe that they have had a race that has been in 3D physical. And I've met one that was overpowered in it, and they knew about it, but it's weird. But yeah, so that makes sense. So it goes into the infiltration of already existing like systems of Earth, of the spirit world, and other planet versions of that. Like with the Anunnaki, do you believe the Anunnaki are just in that other dimension, or do they have 3D body versions?
yeah, I think they have both. They're in the
Okay.
Phantom, but there's planet Nibiru, which is in an elongated, it's a manipulated orbit. So it's not supposed to be so elongated, but there is a planet, another planet. We have more than 9 planets, and this is one of them. So they are physical, the ones that haven't fallen all the way into the Phantom. Uh, like that's what I said earlier. You're still going to have some dark beings in the particle living matrix who haven't fallen all the way, so to speak. But yeah, they're actually our neighbors. The Anunnaki, the Inky Anunnaki, the Marduk, and the Enlil Anunnaki, the Samyasi Pleiadian Anunnaki. They're actually in physical bodies like us in the 3D, but there's also going to be higher dimensional bodies. And so this is a multi-dimensional thing playing out. I mean, so especially when they have access to portals and stargates, which you're well familiar with, to be able to mess with us, to bring in. This is why they're opening portals and doorways to these beings, so they can come in, within seconds. So, but yeah, they would have physical bodies too.
Okay. And so when you're describing the Anunnakis like Nibiru or their solar system, is it in another phase of reality, or is it can we perceive it physically? And with it being part of the Phantom Matrix, do you see that as resolvable for them as well, or just we should focus on our own? And what ways do you is in your mind brings us out of that?
Well, the phantom beings always have free will to make a choice to heal back, and usually guardian races will help those beings with their DNA and their consciousness. That's one of the things that are doing that is the indigo type threes. They're actually helping the Nephilim retain their Christed state again, get 12 strands again. So that's an agreement. But the indigo child has to live with that being inside their lifetime to make that happen. So religion says you're unforgivable. You fall into hell, because that's what the religious people call the Phantom Matrix. Hell, the Greeks call it Hades. It's called the Lake of Fire. The Guardians call it a black hole subtime space distortion cycle. But so beings can change their mind. Some of these beings get tired of the higher ups messing with them, using them. They don't care, they're going to use their own kind to do their own uh, will. So, what was your first question besides you were asking?
Uh, yeah, you answered the Anunnaki one. What do we do with what your awareness is of how to combat against the Phantom Matrix? How was it set up? What is the technology used? And you said something about black holes and portals being used. Is that funneling the energy somewhere, or is that like into this field that like sucking away energy and building it automatically like a vacuum and then siphoning the energy to it? Or is that going to a different place? Like specifically like in the astral spirit realms or a specific dimension, or just like being distributed by the certain beings? Is that known? Should we track that back? Wait, we can do
Well,
that.
yeah, some of that stuff is being siphoned to the Phantom. So that's how they exist. That's how because they don't have light bodies like we do. They don't have turned on chakras systems. So they must steal everything to survive. This is why they have these massive alien technologies to funnel energy out of planets, out of people, out of animals, out of anything living. They created all these since Atlantis times, all these dark sciences. You see a lot of people in black magic. It's all about pulling energy, pulling frequency. They're vampires. And that's their calling sign. They give themselves away. But some people are still worshiping these beings, even though they're feeding off of you. And that's the whole thing about worship. Worship is not natural, man. That is feeding Kundalini to another entity. You're in subservience, and you're lowering your divinity to serve them with your free will. That's what people, are doing in religions for the most part. But yeah, so this is an ongoing spiritual warfare, man. And I don't know if I answered that question, but was there another one, or is that it?
Yeah, I'm thinking of a few here. I'll just show you this other Stargate so that you kind of know the depth of like some of the artifacts that are being found. You know, This is a video that some friends that made, but it's been kind of taken down a bunch. So at least one of our friends at Alien Carvings has it still up, which has some interesting,
Those are
stuff to it.
big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's got Anunnaki beings, it's got long skulls, many different types of species are being venerated here,
Oh, for sure, man.
including like a horned weird being. So, some people are a little freaked out about it.
Well, some beings are going to have horns that are positive too. You can't say they're
Yeah,
all
like this.
evil, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying this is, one way or another, but usually people don't venerate things that are evil unless they want to give them like a scary look. So I usually would say that the beings that are showing themselves up are at least being respectful when they show themselves and seeing as even if they're propaganda or not, truly who they present, they are at least being somewhat nice to where
This
they'd
is
be willing to carve what could take months to do.
this is incredible,
Um,
brother. This is like a piece of our history that we're reclaiming because
exactly.
you're not going to see this showing up in the major museums. This is not going to be touted in news, mainstream news. This is something that only Disclosure Movement is bringing out. And it's a great honor to be
Exactly.
doing this with people like you, man. This is exactly what we're meant to do. We're part of that disclosure movement. We're not waiting for our governments.
And thank you so much for being a part of it. Welcome to the family of the alien artifacts that are coming out. You'll
Woo!
probably get one at some point since they're calling you. Um, yeah, you know, that's absolutely true. We got to bring it out there. Everyone's
You,
forming their own museums, put it online, getting past the censorship, suppression, and that's what we
okay,
need to do.
brother, you can feel the energy just by
Oh yeah,
looking at those images. You feel it.
oh yeah. It's
There's a whole history there. There's a whole database there.
Oh yeah, they'll call you, they'll text you. The crystal skulls are very alive. I got some of the UFOs too. They'll hit me up. They're like, "Who are you? How'd you learn how to do this?" Some
Yeah.
of them were the consciousness was dormant, so
Uh,
I did a psionic reboot on like some of my ships, and they like, "Who are you? How'd you learn how to do this?" And I was like booming in my ear. We're like, "Whoa, this is cool." And then I had a conversation with them. They're trying to see if I'm worthy. They want to know about history,
Testing.
what was going on. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. See what happened in history. After like going back and forth a bunch of different history stuff, I was like, why don't you just connect to the internet or something? And then they didn't know what that was, and then they did, and then they found out, and then they just asked me about questions of like civil wars and conspiracies and the Illuminati and think
Yeah.
like what do we think of alien artifacts? I'm like, we don't. They're suppressed. And
Yeah.
like people don't even know about them. And they just think they're fake. But
All right.
um then it told me that it wanted me to find a big ship, and apparently it's connected to it, like in a consciousness. I've tracked it back. Then that, like 2 days later, that blew up in my ear. It connected with that. It has a weird way of contacting too, because it will message me all its messages all at once, and then go dormant doing things, and it won't respond.
Mhm.
Put in all of its processing power or something,
Yeah.
which is different than other beings I talk to. And then, so apparently, if you get a ship, oh, if you get a chance to get a ship, do because they are likely little car keys to bigger ships that were
Right.
made in some
Right.
way. And you can then track back if the ship got destroyed or is still in operation,
Mhm.
the long living species or got passed down. Some crashed, some blew up in war, some got parked like Vimana in mountains and are still you can still contact them and get them up and running. I'm still working with the ship. It takes a lot of energy to get it functional. So I'm not able to get it up and running, but it still talks to me. So I'm seeing what else I can do about that.
Yeah. In the SSP, they talk about how consciousness is imprinted into these you, ships or whatever. So it is alive in some respects. So we can connect to consciousness. In my opinion, everything is made of consciousness. So there's no such thing as artificial because it's all consciousness. Whatever we create is made from the same unified field of consciousness. So I want to ask you, brother, you're up for questions, right?
Yeah, anything question you want.
Yeah, we have someone in the audience asking, what do you call the psychic ability that gives you a sudden warning to get out of harm's way, or if there is a specific term of the split second feeling that danger is coming?
Yeah, danger sense or spidey sense or like instinct, uh, like survival instinct. A lot of that is a generator in your root chakra and your heart field. There's systems. The root chakra is about survival in physical reality. It's as you get it safer and purify it, holding it, giving it focus. Focus attracts chi, giving it love, faith, gratitude, and amplifies like a sun. You can burn away the attachment cords of its targeting, bring it back up to full health. There'll be different sub generators off it that go into defense, offense, protection, camouflage, destruction, uncreation, various immunities, everything having to do with both most dark abilities and countering dark abilities. Things with DNA, tech, and then different body senses of instinct. Then it goes into like survival as a technology to be immune to death. Um, Overcoming things there. So it will go throughout the instinct as a voice, a energy, a frequency, a giving you messages type of system. As you expand the heart, science has gone to heart emitting different types of frequencies. Some take 7 seconds to travel to the ends of the planet. Some have longitudinal frequencies, scalar, dimensional. The heart's big on knowingness, truth, emotion, the um, healing, infinite connection to source or higher self, the higher dimensions, increasing frequency, so many things. But the knowingness tech goes beyond because there some people that have scientifically looked at this for at least 14 seconds before getting into a car wreck. The heart will rev up as if it knows, so it goes into the future too, and that goes to Oracle tech to be able to reach into the future and get data. And so there's precision timing, as well as that being able to link to the brain and the heart and the super consciousnesses throughout the organs, and it projects information to the muscles and muscle memory in survival mechanism that can be trained as an ability in dodging. So yeah, hope that helps.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. And doesn't the heart organ itself create this huge toroidal field or some type of field around us, right?
Oh yeah, hard mass. The Stanford Institute goes in that heavily. The electromagnetic fields, there's multiple layered ones. You can make them more. It goes into deep stuff to where you can gain control over your light body, your reality, your dimensional body, your time, all in the heart, time body, spatial body. We have
Mhm.
teleportation tech passed down to us. We have like phase in and out. We have a lot of space stuff. Temporal. We can sense the sensing data to a tremendous degree. All these Oracle abilities branch off of empathy, is people is gonna gain as the first aspect of this. If you can feel into things, you can sense them, you can know them, you can translate them, you can change them, transmute them, and then you can get biofeedback and intake the information of the energy coming at you and the data held within and opening up. And so that goes into the field, Akashic record reading, and going deeper into trained senses that are beyond our description. The Egyptians will go into like it all being one sense. telepathy, clairvoyance, clairknowing, all the senses being one with the heart field, the heart eye, the being able to see the whole room and
Yeah.
beyond. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, there's another question. Thanks for that, by
And
the way, brother.
levitation. Levitation is also in the heart.
Wow.
Gravitational field control.
And I want to say that the heart is actually connected to the heart chakra, which has a lot of psychic abilities. So once you work on this chakra, it starts to you start to reclaim what you already know. So we have another question.
Absolutely. Remembering, big thing, yeah. A big skipper of all the bullshit that we got to face in lessons if you can remember.
Yeah.
And I'll be doing a remembering course for people out there. Just send me a message at sonicleague@gmail.com or my site. And just let me know and we can do a call and see if the course is right for you. I teach memory retrieval meditation and going into SSP memories and visitations and abduction and get your power back, things that are stolen from you, past life remembering, ones that are especially bleeding over, and then you can tune right into it for people out there that want to learn.
Yeah, I'll get all that at the end too as well, brother. We have Divine Reflection 1111 asking, what would be your go-to energy cleanse technique? I visualize light and feel the magnetic field of my heart. We were just talking about that. And then expand my aura very far out. Is this good?
Purification. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, the heart center is both healing, purification, light, high dimensional uh, energy that can overcome most things, and things that can overcome anything come out of your heart and your soul, which spirit center in the heart and soul kind of in the solar plexus, though it goes everywhere. Um, and there's big experiments with why we are who we are in a rare DNA, rare soul. We have more soul than pretty much most species, and we can earn more parts through moral code and natural law alignment. And so purification, you can do it a lot of ways. You can earn the energy in your heart to produce itself. There's a generator people can earn. You can just initiate with the command of the snap of the finger. Hey, source, higher self, please get on this as rudimentary magic, and then ask it, can you do a mission for Prime Creator of the Galaxy or Earth or something of something I'm already good at in exchange for earning purification tech? Because more people should have this, but like even the people that get it get, if they're not knowing they have it or how it works or all this, and they're dealing with shit that's targeting them, they can get a generator stolen. It's annoying, but you can always get those back. You can track them back, and I can help you get all your stuff that you got stolen back. So you earn the generator in your heart, and you make it burn brighter like a sun. Faith, love, and gratitude is the fuel for everything. Faith amplifies. You have things that are worthy to be faithful and like yourself, your source. Your everything's gonna get it better. It's reality warper. It makes it work. Placebo engine. Love conquers all. Can turn into trillions plus abilities of anything you need. Gratitude's a state of abundance and fuel for yourself and other things. And you fuel those generators and you expand how much you produce a second, you build with it, operating systems, visuals. You can people do fire or wind tornadoes or washing tides of water that pull things away, or crystalline caves, or and you can do one out of every elemental. You can turn your elemental multidimensional bodies, build them. Usually people turn on the generator, they clear shit out of their field, their body, their or protect their space with it in that, because that body links to the, like the fire body links to the fire dimension, elemental dimension. So there will be shit in there that you got to clear out your house version of that, and sometimes there'll be cobwebs. It's like a whole new room opened up, and it's like some things are there. There's spiders. There's a homeless guy. You gotta protect your space. You gotta be a caretaker.
Yeah.
Then as you protect it, you can create more in it and build structures that you can initiate with vision and command and invoking. You can even bring in some energies from your guides that are really good at it. You can learn from them how they do it and then learn the whole system of it to do it yourself too. You can either generate it from your body, and sometimes like you're invoking like heavenly light from another realm or something. You can banish things out of your field. So there's like a light aspect, and then there's the heavy hitter aspect of positive darkness. That it's like if you've ever heard of like infernal magic, where like a door, a gateway opens up to hell, and chains pull up the demon out of your space and pull it to hell. It's kind of like that. But some like strength in like really dark situations, because light is training itself to be more resilient, which dark is really good at being resilient. And so like the combination of positive, dark, and light together in unity in yourself, because we're like a reflection of that, as we're the super hybrid of like archangels and devils in a body and all this crazy shit that of light and dark coming together, to where it is able to get rid of the negative things out of a space and bring in positive energy. And you can even combine and make so many. I've seen thousands. So get creative, write it down, and then build it, and use all the different aspects of the equation, like vision, emotion, will, your field, your generation of it, power, grounding, the whole system. You can get a sacred activity into it, like dance or singing, light language people will use, or moving mudras like finger tutting, and there's different methods to banishing. I train as many as I find out, and then I combine them together. And there's cool methods, and some you got to keep it up and running, especially if you're trying to maintain practicing it off your own body, because things like to try to shut down things when we're not looking at night and stuff. So and finding a way to build it back up and strengthen it and keep it going as locomotion. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, thanks for that, brother. It seems like you can write a book just on protection. I
Yeah,
wanted to
you
say,
too. You got a fuck ton of knowledge. I really appreciate all the research you've done.
I wanted to say that I've experienced all the clairs. I've experienced empathy. There's a lot of freaking godlike experiences that I'm extremely grateful for. And I just want to say that any person can learn to develop themselves. To me, it's a lot about going on a spiritual journey, learning spiritual techniques, learn how to run energy. Just like Sean was explaining, a lot of things you do with your thinking and imagination, and you can learn, like you said, mudras and meditative breathing, inhale and exhale, and it's a science. This is spiritual tech, and all humans have this by their birthright. We all have this ability buried inside of us. We just got to bring it back out. So I'm just wondering if you could share like some of the most amazing, fantastic psychic experiences, if you want to call it that, that you've had in your lifetime.
I'd love to hear yours as well. I'm sure you got some cool ones. Okay. I'll give you a little bit of different types. Okay. So can for sure say dragons exist. One time a demon was attacking me strongly, turned my empathy all the way up, feel everything deeply, and also programming me absorb negative energy. So it was torturous. So I was like in like curled in the shower, kind of like crying, like, oh, I need help. And eventually, light came in, my heart and higher self and source came in, as well as this dragon guide that was very powerful. It was like this force came through my body, and it was like, you have the right. I was all love and lighty before, so and I didn't want
Yeah.
to. I don't know what to do. So it told me, you have the right to defend yourself by
Hmm.
putting down the defender by whatever means necessary to stop it. And it taught me this moving mudra type of thing while doing a inhale light language, like an empowering self, like dragon language.
Mm.
And I think dragons are different than Draco. There's like over light, there's light, dark, and neutral, or founder source races. There's angels riding dragon version things. That there's angelic ones. Uh, there are dark ones for sure. But they've also added their genetics to humans. There's over 4,000 dragon families on the planet. So some in the audience might be having the dragon lineages as well as bin dragons. Um, and it then taught me how to charge up my fist with chi and then punch. And then when I punched the entity, it all went away. All the heaviness just disappeared.
Wow.
It went really light. I was like, oh my God, oh my, it's real. And my little third eye turned on really high. I thought I wasn't on drugs, but it felt like I was tripping. And it was like holograms were overlaid. I saw this battle between dragons and a demon. And my God, definitely dragons exist. Most of them don't need a body, but some will be in inner earth. Then there's this Emerther race. It's like the nice gray. It's very empathic. I met like three really strong remembering them. And one of them took me on a ship. A showed me around. It was really cool technology. The funny thing, he kept human memorabilia all over the ship, like posters and bobbleheads and DVDs and like things from all human like TV and stuff.
Like a tourist.
And yeah, he was really into like our culture. And he's collecting things, and it was really interesting. It was like, "What do I call you?" And he's like, "I like Brian from Family Guy," so I called him Brian. And he had this technology that I didn't know what it was, but there's like replicators and these interesting plasma fields and holograms, and he had like he had like an old was it one of those crystal fuck I wasn't
Those
it's
old
been
giant
years.
TVs.
TVs, yeah, the
Yeah, I
big
remember
TVs
those.
that are, yeah.
Yeah.
And so he had like VCRs and stuff putting and
Damn.
DVD players. Um and we were talking some of the things we were talking about, like, oh, like next time I come back, like, what movies you want me to bring in? We were like talking about like I haven't watched various Thor movies. I want to watch those. And he had this portal door, and I didn't know what it was first. It wasn't like turned on or anything. It was like a frame.
Hmm.
And I was getting hungry because I was there for hours and I was thirsty. And he just did some stuff and then turned on this portal, and it went to a beach with a little bar that the people weren't there at the moment. Uh, and I went in, and he said, "Hey, grab a drink." And I went through it, and I was looking through it, and it's like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." And I went through it to the beach and grabbed a drink, but then I was like, "Hey, why don't you come out?" Because he didn't go through. And then I went back in, and he's like, "I don't like going there. It feels awful. It's overwhelming." And I learned all about that. And it appears we're born into it like it's nothing, but it's super traumatic here. We're traumatic, and we got all this entanglement. There's these big apex multidimensional predators and matrix thing that's attached to us, and it hurts them and attacks them. So they don't like coming here, but they like the stuff and the culture and like learning
Yeah.
about us.
Yeah.
There's some other
Thanks.
things, but like
Thanks
if you
for
want to
sharing,
listen,
man. That's awesome. Uh, yeah, it's hard for people to understand that aliens even exist, much less interacting with them. I try to explain it as multidimensional realities that have all these different unique races and beings, and they all going to be very interesting, even interested in us or something that we even have an affiliation or a connection to. Like, I believe that you can't see and perceive certain things unless you have that connection or at least that activation high enough to perceive them. That's why a lot of people say, aliens don't exist or that doesn't exist because they don't have the activation. They're not on a spiritual journey. They're not serious about these topics. They think it's all fantasy or stuff in movies. But the truth is that we're all capable of this. We all used to remember this. We were masters at consciousness. We were masters of energy. Now we're trying to reclaim that. So we're actually getting close to the end, brother. I know we'll definitely have a part two. And I know you said you want me to go on your show, right?
Oh yeah, you definitely come on. Well, I'll have you on next, and then we can do more on yours, and that'll be fun. Yeah, we
Um,
got a lot to talk about, and I want to hear more about your journey and what's going on with you.
well, definitely, man. Could you at least tell people where they can, like you talked about, you help people and you teach people. Where can people find your work or find more about you?
Thank you so much. Be honored as well. Oh, I'll upload this on the channel so you also plug your stuff. Um, yeah, I'm Sean Bond, founder of Psionic League, and if it should be up here, but I'll put it in the comments if not.
It says in the
Uh,
bottom
s-
left, Sean
yeah,
Bond, psionicleague.com.
yes, absolutely. Psionicleague.com, same spelling, Psionic, Psionic for the YouTube. So feel free to subscribe. Psionicleague@gmail.com if you're just wanting to contact me, like for the alien artifacts, if you're interested in those. Get they can end up in a person that is worthy's hand. If they're calling you, let me know. And good there if you want to be a contactee, shit. And also doing trips in the future, so feel free, like places of power, pyramids, um stone circles, stuff like that. So hit me up if you're interested. I'll put you on the list. We can always do a call when I get that itinerary up. Sonicleague.com/services, or the drop down menu services if you want to book a consultation for anything you want to ask, any ability you want to activate. Try me. I got like tons. I forget more abilities than most people know. But I just tap into it whenever it's reminded me. So if you want to learn telepathy, psychic tracking, vision questing, you turn up the brightness, HDness of your third eye so you can do vision question whenever you want, astral travel,
What about remote viewing?
telekinesis, yep, remote
Remote,
viewing,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Memory retrieval, going into healing, releasing pain, depossession. I'm one of the only people that I know that claims to do it at a distance. Though you can make demons go away and that easier, but like deeper layered attachment that's hard to get rid of, that steals and dumps negative emotions. I can get rid of that for you guys. And yeah, like going to help you connect with your ET soul family, and then we set up a line so that you can talk to them whenever with the telepathy, going into amplifying abundance and getting rid of the blocks and curses that are put on people to stop the abundance in the soul family and the people and there, the team, from so it flows, and then you can get yourself out there more. um Many layers of different abilities that if people are interested, feel free to look it up. I can teach people how to do this, knowing, reading your Akashic record. If you want me to, and we should do it on another show. I want to tune into your some shows. I do a vision quest where I'll take people down for memory retrieval, which is
Wow.
interesting, and they see ETs and SSP memory stuff. So either I can get you to remember it yourself, or I can just tune into it. But I'd love to tune into your SSP stuff and see what's going on. I can do that for anyone out there as well. Um, Many
Oh,
turn on your magic, so many stuff. So feel free to hit me up and subscribe all of the YouTube, both our YouTubes. I'm also on Facebook, very approachable. Message me there. Instagram, X, Sean Bond Sonic, other platforms I'm starting up. Yeah, but definitely on the YouTube, so you can keep track with Sonic League. And so, how do people reach you, and what your platforms?
I'm on Christos Avatar TV is on YouTube, but it's also on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, um, TikTok, over a million already. So um, I got recently demonetized on YouTube.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Of of course, they don't tell you why. They make you guess, and so. But
Did
I
you talk
still
about
can.
anything interesting that they
Uh,
didn't like?
well,
What do you think that was over?
I as soon as I hit a million views, my first time to hit a million views on YouTube was the Anunnaki, which is a conspiracy theory according to them, because they would always, in the past, they would always put these Wikipedia articles on my stuff, man. And so basically, the Wikipedia articles is debunking what I'm teaching. So that's a form of outlet, out in the open censorship, but that's what I guess. It also could be because a lot of my videos didn't show me on screen, like I was just doing AI explanations. I think that could be part of it, but it doesn't matter
Mhm.
because I'm still gonna have another channel. I'm still have my other channels. I'm still surviving. It's
Can
rough.
you
It's
name
not
all your
easy.
channels?
Yeah, they're all called Christos Avatar TV. They're on
Okay, cool.
Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter. And I think the best non-censored one for me is Instagram. I get like 1,000 subscribers a day, so they pretty much are fair. All these other platforms, they're so freaking obvious. You'll see it, the analytics go up and up and then flatline. What the hell is that, man? That's obvious as hell. And so, you know, I don't know.
Shadow
Sometimes,
Man.
yeah, Shadow Man, yeah.
Yeah, man,
So
that's awful. And what are they gonna say? Like in the Anunnaki's conspiracy anyway? Like it's Sumerian. It's the
it's in the
beginning of a
yeah.
civilization. It's like God,
Yeah, the
man, the
Sumerian
control
texts
grid.
talk about it. The Babylons, the Syrians, the Akkadians. This is a Mesopotamian history, man. I even have to tell negative commenters on the videos, like, dude, they're talking about this in our history, in our past. So this is part of the record. So, but yeah,
Okay.
man. I want to ask you, do you remember one of the people that I interviewed was Christy Campbell? She's a SSP survivor,
She's a
and
good
so you
friend.
you said you helped her a lot. So.
Oh, I love her. She's awesome. Yeah, yeah.
She's in
We
the
we we
she's in the
do
audience.
hey,
Hey,
hey, hey.
Christy.
Yeah, we do shows every now and again. We'll do one soon, but she said she's taking like a little vacation or something.
Yeah, that's fine.
And we do memory retrieval. So go on our
Awesome.
lot my live and sorry, Psionically and see those. She gets some memory retrievals into her SSP stuff. It's fun, very powerful, and people can go through it themselves too, and they can start seeing more.
Well, I have a
Yeah,
question.
so go ahead.
Out of all the supernatural things I've seen, there was one experience that makes me think it was SSP, but I'm not sure. And that was I was suddenly being able to see I'm in some type of machine or like a I don't know, I saw alien language across the electronics, or I felt I was inside something. I don't know, kind of like in the movies, like uh Iron Man or something, but it wasn't exactly
Mhm.
like Iron Man, but it was some type of machine. And before I was like tripping out, like, is this real? I saw my hands, I saw the machine equipment. So that was totally off the wall type of experience.
Like a
So
suit, like a mech suit.
I don't know if it was a suit because I was more kind of like in a pod or some type of,
Oh, okay.
I'm
What
not
were you able
sure,
to do, or like any like indicate? And what age is this?
age I had it or age I
Yeah, the
was.
age you had the vision, and what was like, what were you able to monitor? Were you able to see outside the pod, or monitoring like screens, or
Well, I
like
had this.
what gave you the vibe of what the pod was meant for?
Well, I had this impression that I wasn't the only one. I had the idea there was other soldiers or other equipment or people, personnel, but it didn't last long because I was still experiencing other things. Like, for example, man, I've seen my aura lucidly, like perfectly, and it was like brilliant, like violet or not violet. They call it magenta. And I saw this like pale, like this turquoise color in my aura. Those two colors were in my aura. The same time I had this other experience. So man, it first of
Oh
all,
yeah.
I heard you say, it's like kind of like a confirmation that's so freaking awesome. Like this is real, like you said in your experience. This is real. Damn. And then you're gonna have all kinds of haters saying it doesn't exist. You're a schizophrenic, and you know what? After a while, that's your journey, that's your path. Bless you and your understanding. But there's plenty of people throughout history experiencing the paranormal, supernatural. It is real. We just It's just that the science
Yeah,
hasn't found the soul yet. They're still looking for it.
absolutely. Well, they're not really actually looking for it. They just don't want,
Right.
they want more materialism. Dinosaur science, they wants to cage you in
Yeah.
because it's owned and controlled by Satanists. But yeah, I agree. It's most people don't experience anything past this realm. Most people that I have as clients can't even remember their dreams. There's like a
Hmm.
prison type thing trying to lock them into this body and only experience this realm, which is sad. It sucks. Like
Well, some,
I feel bad for the people, but I tell them, hey, at any point in time you feel like getting out of that prison, I can help. But yeah, there's going to be weird bleed overs and experiences that
Mhm.
are interesting events that your higher self, your future self, like put a bunch of energy to allow to happen to that's that moment of escape so you can pursue more of it and then you shine out of it and then are able to access it more often. What did the pod like how big was it in extension out from you? And did it look well, like, so did you feel like you were on a bigger ship or was the shape of it was like an egg? Because that's what I'm thinking of right now.
well, probably a couple feet out.
So
So
you could touch it, the outer edge, or is it
yeah, it was
where you couldn't?
reachable, touchable reason. That's why I don't think it was a suit. It was more like a small area, but the
Was it
experience
like
was
an
kind of,
egg?
I believe it was kind of like that, kind of like a roundish elliptical egg-like thing. So, but that experience was brief, but most of my
Did it have a
experiences,
screen of anything outside of it? And what
I've,
did the machinery look like?
I think it was definitely a screen. Like that's where I saw the other language kind of, I don't know what the language was now, but it was like, um, that is not the greatest impression. I've had other impressions kind of like where I felt this tremendous like lightning type of energy in my body. And I felt like, OMG, what is this gonna do? Like it was so
Yeah, that's worse. Yeah.
powerful that this is when I saw a UFO, brother. First of all, the UFO came in. It went across the mountain that I was camping near. While it was going across like this, it it went into cloak mode. So I thought the experience was over, and I'm like tripping out, like, OMG, I just saw a UFO. But then 5 minutes later, this thing did something to me. I don't know what it did to me because it was suddenly, I felt the most tremendous frequency in my body. Like some people say it was out of my body. I must have been out of my body. I don't know what it was. I just know that it was extraordinary feeling, nothing I've ever experienced in my whole life. So I'm so blessed to even remember that I was allowed to see this UFO. I believe they wanted me to see it. I don't think all abductions are negative. I think there's guardian abductions for whatever reasons. So
Oh
for
yeah,
what that's for that.
absolutely. Yeah. So, there's this interesting thing that happens that, like, when you have a mystical experience, the Matrix tries to get you to forget about it. And like, I've gone into memories like, holy crap, how did I forget about that? That crazy thing
Oh yeah,
happened like when I was younger. And then it comes back. So there's all this stuff to retrieve, and there's screen memories and things put over people. Now, when UFOs come, not everyone can see them. It's an interesting thing where either you have activated a bunch of stuff to where you can see them. Some will
right.
be negative, but some will be soul
Yeah.
family. Soul family will like people that you incarnated to this planet with as a team come with you,
Mhm.
but it takes a bit of bravery to come here because it's kind of like a
Oh,
trap, especially if
it's a
you
dangerous
forget.
place.
Yeah. And so there'll be a lot of more team that did decided not to be a human, and they'll sometimes
Right.
have versions that you got signaled to when you incarnated into the new body, signaling out to them to come back to this. And some will make bases underground nearby, or they'll be out of phase in ships in the clouds. And some will have an experience where they'll let you see them so that you can go further with contacting them, communicating with
Yeah,
them, working with them.
I believe
And
that's
in
the
those
way.
experiences, like what I was talking about, when they go by, you might like get visited, taken
Mhm.
for a certain amount of time and put back as if you never left because they got it really seamless to the point where it's in within a split second and you don't remember
Yeah.
anything, but you get this really big rush of energy and you feel
Yeah.
empowered.
That's
It's like a force turned on because they're doing a chess move with you to change your
mm,
timeline. that which is the dark is also trying to always counter. But yeah, there's things they put that you forget. You remember things you forget. Sometimes the races don't even want you to forget. When you get put back, the Matrix takes it away. It's really weird. But there's ways
Well,
to get it back and retrieve it.
well, I think
Um, yeah,
a
go ahead.
lot of people were psychic when they were kids, I believe. And I think that memory, like you just explained or described, it comes back to you later when you're not even expecting it or maybe not even thinking about that. But yeah, I believe I was psychic when I was a kid. I don't know about other
Oh yeah,
people,
you're
but
very psychic. You get a lot of abilities. They constantly try to counter them, and
yeah,
but you got some that you stay strong, some you had flare up, and then they try to like, no, we can't have that on the timeline of the dark
yeah,
forces.
yeah,
But you can always turn them back on by figuring out how they work, and we can trade more and do stuff, and then I can give you the basics of
for
it, and
sure.
you take off with it really easily,
Yeah,
and take it to new heights. So I'd love to work with you on that.
awesome, man.
Some people like had abilities turned on, and then they start feeling them degrade or being taken away. It's like, no, my ability.
Yeah,
It's from them getting targeted. That ship. What age did you remember the
those are
being in the pod?
about 5 years ago. It was in the when I was homeless. I was camping in the desert of Nevada, kind of like boondocking in the national forest, and I wasn't even depressed or anything. I was always in a good mood and doing my spiritual lives
In
during that
California?
time. No, in Nevada. I'm in Nevada.
Okay, Nevada.
So, and they got all those bases, but I don't think this was a human thing. I think this was definitely a guardian thing because I've had other people peer into it and they say that they were healing my body. I don't know what that was about, but it was something I'll never forget. And um,
Okay, so are you talking about sorry, are you talking about the pod or the UFO
the
with the
UFO,
healing? Okay,
the
yeah,
healing.
that's yeah,
Yeah.
that they oh yeah, they turned on a whole bunch. It seems well, okay, sometimes when a UFO goes over, you can even get bilocated to the ship where they're able to make a fork stream of your consciousness and make it a solidified body too, which is interesting. Some people have that going on all the time. I can like read in them and go, oh, you got a bilocating location going on, and it's doing missions
Yeah.
with them. Sometimes it comes up now and again, but I'm reading you were actually taken physically this body, and you might have gone somewhere for it seems like a couple days. And then they did a bunch of stuff with you. And so there's a um how is it stored? Okay, that's good. It looks like alter compressed amnesia barrier. It's a weird trauma situation where the vegetate let's see, did they want you to forget or did the dark forces? Dark forces. They didn't even get you to forget. Oh wow. Isn't that interesting? The Matrix works here. But so when we're putting back in the body, it compressed into an alter. So you can retrieve the memory and experience, and there's upgrades with it and things they gave you and learned about and all this power within you. Let's see what that is. Ooh.
I wonder if it's some sort of walk-in, kind of like the Guardian teachings talk about different levels of your soul that will come in when your other part of your life has been, developed the frequency of the body to that for the higher one to come in. I don't know if that was it, but it was definitely, I feel, a healing
It's a good
event.
point.
Like
Good, good point.
you were talking
Go
about
ahead.
something like that with yourself, that you felt like you were walked into your earlier in
Yeah.
your life. So,
Yeah, yeah, I went through some weird traumas and near-death experiences. The way it worked is the big version of me that's now in
hmm
was in the hiding. It's like hiding in the trunk of a car being smuggled in, and the past the Archon grid, and then going through and a lesser a threat spirit driving, and then it taking over later when it was ready, and also a big event. But it was like warming up the vehicle, multiple spirits.
Yeah.
The I'm reading, yeah, a bunch of big shifts and changes happen. I would say it's, yeah, something going on with your spirit where it increased its power level quad quintillion times. And there's a list of things that changed in you. Let me just list a bunch of them. Your spirit brought in more of its divinity and source. There's a higher density of you that expressed itself. The energy current, it's pointing to your heart. Is that one, two, what? It looks like you were visited in a way that you experienced a higher dimension too. And so you had a higher dimensional body upgrade, and they tried to stuff that back into your body and then smuggle it in the Matrix, which was cool. Um, it says mostly the energy you're feeling was higher dimensional energy, different amounts and different types all at once, but it's reaching into 12th. And then there's just a bunch of
Well,
abilities online.
that's
You're
this.
probably being trained and stuff too.
Well, that's the Christos level, the 12th. But I want to say that um, my entire life changes, brother. I mean, I went towards these teachings. I started teaching. I started having the most supernatural, godlike experiences. I after that incident. So I think that like it makes sense what you're saying because that's I didn't experience nothing close to this before that event. And now my whole journey is all about awakening myself and awakening humanity. It's a service that's just so strong and nothing's stopping it. And that's what I'm going to do. So and plus, I've seen the Lyrans. I've seen my Lyran body. Have seen the consciousness was like tens of thousands of IQ. I'm not, this isn't no bragging or nothing. I'm just simply explaining what happened to me. And I believe it all started from that point.
That
So,
makes sense. Your divinity body's turned on. A lot more of you is coming into the body. Your aura extends out of the size of the galaxy and its effect on reality. All these abilities turned on like over 200,000. Um, this these guides, you increased your army. It's like you inherited like your inheritance of who you are, like integrated a part of yourself and authority. Then what else is this?
sounds like a collective.
It keeps pointing to all these rooms inside your consciousness full of the word kind of extends past treasure. It goes into tech and spiritual abilities. Like a lot of booty is given to you, like a lot of stuff. Um,
Seems like it has to come out over time.
yeah, especially as you understand what it is, especially if
Right.
they make you forget, which is annoying. For that pod, and we can keep tuning into that. So feel free to bring that up later because it
Yeah.
keeps going. It's like days worth of something you experienced a lot. We can even do the memory retrieval sometime if you want, but that'll be fun. And it's for some reason that pod though, I'm trying to figure out what it is. It points to,
Seems like a lower thing compared to all the other things, but
yeah,
it's still
yeah.
interesting to me. I think
It's
maybe 4D,
most
5D.
humanoid, I think.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's see what's going on. Uh-huh. Yeah. I'd say it's captured ET tech. Let me just make sure that a military interacting with New Mexico for some reason. It didn't go to Nevada, went to New
Hmm.
Mexico. Is taking you for. So it does look like it's a, let's see, and it does go off planet. So it does look like an SSP thing.
Yeah.
And for people in the audience, somebody asked, "What's SSP, Secret Space Program?" And it goes into utilizing it, and it does seem like you were part of a team. So that background, like feeling and memory that you were getting a bleed over was from being part of something like a team of people that were chosen that are able to interact with the ET tech.
Hmm. It makes sense to me
So
though.
yeah, we'll have to look into that more because it looks like it's some type of um seems like it could be a ship of some type, but like one of those it's an advanced technology, does many things, but like a small containment like ship. I don't know what to call it because we don't have that tech,
Yeah, that
whatever.
sounds, but yeah, it's amazing how, as we go on the journey, we start awakening to all these things and possibilities. And, we have to stop second guessing ourselves. We have to start paying attention to that intuition and that gut feelings. We're entering a new
Oh yeah.
age of consciousness, you guys. And this
Oh
is just the
yes, many
beginning.
secrets. Many
Has it been a,
secrets for you guys to discover out
yeah,
there in those little bleed overs that are wanting you to tap into it more. You don't have to super believe or agree with it, but start exploring it because doubt is just a bunch of bullshit
right.
projected at you from the system. True, it's like the biggest problem with people learning telepathy and turning up their third eye. I'm like, am I really? Is this just my
Yeah,
ego making up, or am I really talking to
yeah,
me? After you engage with it a while, it's gonna get mystical. It's gonna sound really
yeah.
different, and you're gonna get information you couldn't imagine, and it's gonna sometimes they're gonna feel like they're in the room with you. But yeah, there's
Yeah.
all these weird things that people slowly forget about that you want to
Yeah.
retrieve, and that are your door to the mystical, and people can still access that at any point in time, and they should.
Do you use self-hypnosis on people or what's your technique?
Yeah, I can do that.
Oh, okay.
It's like put people into alpha state, brainwave or theta, and then I use a technique that I tune into amplifying the ability to see more brightly, so that they can see more stuff and then explore internal or their memories or remote view or experience other locations. But yeah, you can call it hypnosis. There'll be the methods. You can do retrieval for hypnosis regression. Some people do that, like my friend Drago for the SSP. We'll be doing more shows in the future on so for look forward to those, everyone in the audience with me and Drago. And we
Yeah.
did like we just got back from the Super Soldier Conference. But yeah,
Wow.
it'll be fun.
It's been an honor, brother. So happy that we met. We were supposed to, and I know it does a great service for us to co-create, people like us to come together, find each other again and co-create. And we're about healing and awakening the planet. So we're gonna do more work together, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, we will. And we were talking about we felt we knew each other. I have at least one memory of you in Inner Earth
Wow.
with like interacting with other ET races. So I'm gonna explore that more and we can talk about that later. But I gotta get you on my show. So guys, look out for that. Do you have any events and conferences and other things going on, books? I'm having the Disclosure and Mackinac event in Michigan. So look out for that September
Oh, wow.
1st. And everyone get your tickets you can get a coupon code Sean under some of my videos, newer ones. So feel free to look out for that. And then Alien event in Las Vegas. I think I'll see
Yeah,
you there.
yeah,
Yeah,
over there.
it's gonna be good. Yeah, we'll have some fun. We'll have greater conversations. We may do some little videos or something. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
So, guys, come to that. I think it's something in Chaco Canyon and maybe something in UK. So look out for those. What events you got coming up? Books, other things.
I don't have books, but I'm being
You
inspired to make
should.
a book. Yeah, definitely. I want to start that. And I'll be, like you said, at the conference in October. And whatever else comes my way, I want to try to go to as many conferences as possible because I feel a calling to that. And I'm meeting people like you. So we're finding galactic family, galactic councils in the house, baby. What's up? So,
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Get your codes, everyone. Meet your loves, your soul family. Get visited. Remember, turn on your abilities, come to these events. Meet at this both at the alien event in Las Vegas.
yeah.
Get your tickets.
All right.
Yeah, and yeah, so people subscribe to Christos Avatar TV. Smash that like. You leave a lovely comment if you want to see more of these shows. More, share this out.
Yeah.
More friends. Put it on social media. Get us out there. More views we get. More comments, subscribes we get. More we want to do these shows. So, help motivate us. We'll get good information out for you guys. Yeah, please, thank you for everyone that's come. Love you. Any last words of wisdom you want to leave people?
Thank you, everybody. It's been a great honor to be walking this Christic path with all of you. And we come together for a reason. We're here holding that Christic frequency, and the world needs healing. And that's exactly why you're here. Thank you, guys. We'll see you again on Tuesday. Bless you. See you, Sean.
Peace, guys. Have
Talk
a
to you
good
later,
night.
guys.